Mama said there'd be days like this.
Man,
I'll tell you that, Lewis.
Brutal. Just brutal.
I don't know what it is with the sound and everything. People, our fans, I have to apologize.
Right.
We've got a bunch of new equipment, a lot of things going on, and we had it all wired before we went on air, and now we go on air and all the gremlins hit us. But you know what? I think we've got it under control. Why don't we move on forward? Let's do re-rack the scores so everybody who's just joined in will maintain with us. Please maintain for a second. We apologize for the technical problems, but we'll get on through this and get on with the scores. I know y'all want to hear what's going on around the Inland Empire in sports, so we'll get on it right now. Let me give you a quick one, Lewis. I've just been going on the wires, found out that Apple Valley defeated Barstow 24-7. We have Burroughs over Hesperia 36-3. Rancho Cucamonga with a decisive victory over Silverado 42-7. Granite Hills
That's a good win for Rancho Cucamonga.
Absolutely.
Silverado's, we thought Silverado was one of the better teams in the area. I mean, they got surprised early on in the playoffs last year. But Rancho Cucamonga, I mean, they're a team that's dangerous athletically and from a scheme. I think they're one of the best teams, best programs out there.
Absolutely, and I got a couple more here. So we got Granite Hills 19-14 with 8:07 left in the fourth quarter. Serrano at halftime was leading Paraclete 25-7. I have to believe that game's nearing the end, but that's the last score update that we had from that. Heading down to the Californian to snipe a couple of their scores. Rancho Verde defeating West Valley 31-7. San Jacinto over they have San Jacinto over Heritage here.
What's that one?
That's in the fourth quarter. That is
well, we got
right.
the final
I take
score
that
in that
back.
one with San Jacinto losing to Heritage.
These are late scores. I apologize. So we'll have to keep going. So what do we have? Why don't we update those scores?
Randy, turn your mic on. Let's turn mic and see what she's got for us right now. Get her rundown going.
Exactly.
Yep, you can go, Randy.
Turn the mic on.
Okay, all right. I have.
Mic's not on.
Mic's not on.
It's on.
You have it on. You have to turn it on. Okay.
There you go. Sorry, Randy. I turned you down.
Yeah, that's right. I had it right.
You did have it right.
Ricky knows what she's doing.
So what do you got?
I have Torrey Pines 35-0 over Paloma Valley. Anza Hamilton 15-9 over Southwest. Temecula Valley 40-0. The Golden Bears took that one over Hemet. Redlands 16 over Gray Oak. And Dana Hills 49-20 over Santiago. Sharks just couldn't hold off those Dolphins tonight.
But we have to qualify that for everyone because Randy here, in her youthful enthusiasm, is
Homer alert. Homer alert.
Exactly. There's 3 homers in the field. Well, actually, there's 4 because we have young Drexler over here, and he is a King homer. You're a Notre Dame homer.
I'm not.
Randy is, of course, as a Centennial grad, and I'm a Banning grad. So there's 4 homers in here, and of course. We were talking about one point during the season.
I take offense, Lewis, at the Notre Dame homer. I'm a journalist. Okay,
No, you're a homer.
I'm objective.
No, you're
I
not.
understand what it is to report scores, and all I do is report stats and scores.
You're not.
I don't take the homer side.
You're not. Just a minute.
We'll just go back to Randy here now that I've said that.
Right.
The last updated score I have is Rancho Cucamonga 42-7 over Silverado.
That's beautiful.
What was the Hemet final there, Randy? What was the 42-0?
It was bad. It was very
I think
rough.
it was worse than that.
Temecula Valley 40-0.
Is that a final?
Yeah, it seems to be a final. It's a final. Elsinore also took care of what was that, Otay Ranch?
Did they really? What was
28-16?
28-16. Okay. 28-16. So I have to say right now, early on in week 0, and we talked about this early in the episode that we had probably the best, kind of the best game was actually not a game. It was Kaiser. The 4-way scrimmage at Kaiser between Centennial, Redlands East Valley, Kaiser, and Arlington. And there was a brawl at the end of that game.
It's kind of funny how you just think, oh, wow, there's going to be some really good teams playing against each other. I guess when you have competition at that level, there's a little bit of, one-upsmanship.
Exactly.
And things got out of hand. Do you have that video? I'd love to take a look at that.
I don't have it yet. We're actually editing that video right now, so we'll have it here in a moment. To show you guys. We saw it here in a minute. That's actually being processed right now.
I don't think we saw anything that was really the impetus for that
Right.
battle, but there was a lot of scrapping. I did see Superior Reed take a kid and try and throw him. and I'm not trying to name names, but number 2 is very easy to find.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. I guess it's just boys will be boys. I guess we can't wait to see the season start for these teams because they're chomping at the bit to play some football.
You had 3 Inland Division teams in there, 3 of your top Inland Division teams with Centennial, and you had Redlands East Valley, and you had Arlington as well. And, you and I saw a lot of Arlington during the summer during Passing League, and they were a very impressive team as well. And there we go. So here comes Drexler. He's going to...
Young Drexler.
Young Drexler.
Drexler.
Is this the tape? Did you trip over that thing?
No, I'm trying to
Okay, so we're gonna put this up there. Randy's looking for some help over there as well. All right, let's put up the number to call in. If you have a score or you want to talk to us, call us right now at 951-260-0474 on Skype. That is now available for you. If you have a question or a comment or would like to address our woes with audio tonight, that would be helpful as well.
Audio, video.
You know,
the fact that, it's first game jitters. I guess we're having a rough first quarter, but by halftime
we look like
we'll be doing
USC's defense right now.
Ouch, that's rough. I think.
Did you watch that game, Dave? That was horrible.
I actually watched bits and parts of it, and it was they didn't have as bad a night as ESPN did because for almost 5 minutes in the late third, early fourth quarter, they had Hawaii up by like 34-16.
I watched that game. It went on to midnight because Hawaii throws every down, so it was like a 4.5 hour long game. And but Mark May and what's the former Notre Dame coach? That's the Bob Davie.
Bob
they just looked bored. They
Yeah.
kept showing film of Pat Hayden. Oh, there's Pat Hayden on the sideline. There's Pat Hayden on the sideline.
Right.
Oh, here's Pat Hayden again. Let's send Shelley Smith down there and talk to Pat Hayden as well.
Totally off subject since we're actually supposed to be talking about inland sports. I know we were trying to fill time there, but I just saw Tockwitz 54-0. Your boy out there, Tockwitz is starting the season off on the right foot.
Right. Yeah. I mean, great start for the Douglas is a charter school out of Los Angeles. They really had no idea what they were getting with playing them as well. So it's hard to say if that was really a good win for them as
well. When you can shut a team out and score 54 points,
right.
Even if it's a weak team, at least that you have a team that can when they need to take care of business, they take care of it.
The real test for them will be next week when they play Temescal Canyon. So we'll see how much better they're going to be.
They'll be a lot more confident after this game.
I would hope so. Wouldn't you hope so?
I would imagine so. Yes. Where's our boy Dave Bravica? He just can't call in, huh?
I don't know. Skype up and running?
It looks like Skype's up and running.
If you'd like to call us right now, it'd like to be our first call, 951-260-0474.
I'd love to answer the phone and talk to somebody.
Right,
Thank you very much.
Go. Kick off there and see what we've got.
So we got that video up yet?
I'm just trying to find it right now, actually.
Trying to find video.
I got to put it in the machine first.
That would be a good start.
I do want to show if Dave, if you go to the input selection there and you look at the IVGA, I can come around and show it to you. I will have the clips here momentarily of Rancho Verde and West Valley. If you have that, let me see that. The external input selection.
I'm looking right now. Hold on, please. And you're talking for camera 6.
No, not camera 6. Let me rewind camera 6 for a minute and show you that.
And I can hear it soon. Hey, where you got dead air, man?
You got dead air.
I've got dead air. Why don't we go to Randy? Who's got some scores. Can you tell us what we got here going on, Randy?
The latest scores? Well, my assistant, he's kind of dragging. I haven't gotten scores in about 2 minutes.
Well, you're not exactly moving anywhere. Right? What do you got in front of you?
Okay, let me repeat these for you. I'll start off with Santiago lost to Dana Hills. Dana Hills 49-20 over the Sharks once again.
It's kind of interesting.
But you brought that up again.
No, she did bring it up again. But no, it also brings up another interesting point. Santiago was picked to do very well in the Big 8 by not only our writers, but a lot of people I know. And either Dana Hills is an outstanding team or Santiago's got a little work ahead of them. And I think Steinberg, even Eric Paul Johnson was talking about the fact that in his second year, he's usually pretty good and pretty prolific, but it's not a good start to a season for him. What else you got there, Brandy?
Excuse me, did I just hear Brandy?
You sure did, Brandy.
All right, Dink. That's your new nickname for tonight. It's very unmasculine. We have Kennedy 39 14 over Lakeside. I'm sorry, that was yesterday's score. I don't know why that's on here, Drexler. Our latest updated score is Rancho Verde, 31 to 14 over West Valley. And our next updated score is Elsinore, 28 to 16 over Otay Ranch, and Calvary Marietta, Hoteville over Calvary Marietta, 16 to 15.
Thank you, Randy. And as we move forward into the night, we will be bringing you more scores from around the Inland Empire. We are looking at making one quick change here. Hold on one second. Okay. What are we doing here, Lewis? What are we doing here, Lewis?
I'm back, and Dave, what you're going to look at there is we're gonna go and show you some of the highlights from Rancho Verde and West Valley. So if you hit the external drive, you can see that here in a moment. Let me take a look at that. So go ahead, hit, there it is, West Valley, Rancho Verde. So we don't have a lot of information about this right now, but we'll show you Rancho Verde really took care of business here against West Valley. And surprise, surprise, there's no one at the game.
Wow. There is no crowd there.
Wow. Okay, that's looking at the West Valley side. 3-0 on a field goal there. And Rancho Verde, physicality there, pushing the ball around, pushing West Valley around. Here's the kickoff. And I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking at, but here at least have some results.
You know, interestingly enough, Lewis, two teams that you thought were pretty physical teams during the passing league, which I don't know how much credence you give to passing league, really took it on the chin tonight.
Right, absolutely. A couple of teams that
Loma Valley, West Valley, they just didn't seem to have it this evening. Rancho Verde, obviously starting off last year the way that they starting off this year the same way they started off last year with a solid win.
There's Travis Champion. I don't know if it's even him.
Third-year starter.
Got sacked by West Valley, and but
touchdown.
makes up for it right away. So there is your. Let's click back to me. There's your kind of highlights. We have some more of those for you here in a moment, and then Adam Drexler had some stuff for us as well. And let's take a quick break here at the top of the hour. It's 9:58. We're going to organize ourselves a little bit better. We'll get back to you here in a moment, and. We've got some other highlights we're checking on to as well, and we'll have Randy back with some more information for us here in a little bit. And here we go. We'll be back in a minute. Okay,
Go.
let's do it. Everybody, we're back on HS GameTime Live. I'm going to have young Adam Drexler come over here and sit down and talk to me about what he saw tonight. And we're going to show you some of these highlights here in a moment of... this was Redlands, East Valley, and Arlington. Let's go to camera 6, Dave Zink.
And we are on camera 6.
Pause that right now. Okay. All right, this is Rev and Arlington. You got the chance to see these guys. How did Rev look tonight, Adam?
Red looked all right. They didn't look bad at all. But this particular game, I do believe I believe Arlington stuffed them. I don't think they really did. They were able to do much against Arlington's defense, if I remember correct.
There's a little breakdown right there, and so they kind of ended that one. For them trying to run the ball.
For the most part, Arlington's defense looked really solid, other than that last game against Centennial when the fight broke out.
All right. Well, we're gonna count you as an expert in this, but who did you like the best out of this scrimmage? You got Kaiser. You got. It
definitely wasn't Kaiser. From what I saw, Kaiser's defense it looked like they weren't even there.
Zink, are you watching this defense for Arlington here?
I'm telling you, it's pretty much
look at that. Look at that penetration.
Par for the course.
Let me rewind that a little bit here. Let's just watch this for a minute.
And this is against Rev. This is not some third-rate team.
This is not the JV team. This is one of the best programs in the Inland Empire, or if not Southern California. Look at that.
That's a full-on blitz right there.
That's problematic, right?
No one covered that blitz. No, not at all. And they have done nothing. They've not moved the ball at all. Where's
this guy coming from? Watch him get right through there. No one blocked him.
Actually, go back one more time. You can watch the back absolutely miss him.
What's going on with Rev?
There's a pull there.
Of course, they probably scored like 4 touchdowns.
Oh, no, it's a pull. It's not a back.
I think that was just some great camera work.
That actually is the guard looking for the outside.
All right, so...
Did he just say it's great? Hey, Adam?
Yes.
Please.
Look at this play, though. There's some haunting images.
It is good
there.
work, Adam, but it's easy to do from the top of a press box. They do it every game.
Goes deep, and just drops it. Yeah.
Missed opportunity.
So here's Rev again.
So how did Arlington look on offense, Adam?
Superior Reed looked just like Superior Reed, if it's possible, even better.
Do we have any of that offensive footage, Lou?
I don't know. I'm trying to weave through it at this moment right now.
Oh, there's another miss ball.
There is footage of Superior Reed that I was just talking about. I don't remember who it was. It's the first Arlington possession that I do have on tape. And as I said, honestly, it is my first time seeing him, and he just looks amazing.
The best part about this is
other than that play,
finally the deep ball.
Let's look at that one again.
Maybe that was the only blemish in Arlington's defense, and I don't remember. Well, and against Centennial, of course.
What's amazing is this is a scrimmage, people. This isn't even an actual game. See, look at that right over the top. Is that tight end?
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, right up over the top. They were obviously had everything covered.
There's Adam's hand again.
That's one heck of a hand.
He's trying to get on air.
Right.
Just trying to get on.
I just do what I'm told.
Oh, nice run out bump that outside.
This hard tackle.
Superior right there with the
running
tackle.
Back, after that play, he was shooken up.
Oh, my.
That might have been
Wait a minute. Let's see that again.
He was shooken up for a good 20 minutes after this play, after what just happened.
Look at Superior just jump on him. Wow, look at the speed of Superior.
Watch this, though. Oh, you see that? That's terrible.
Lewis, are you moaning again? Oh, that's a really hard hit.
Now watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Watch the kick.
Watch the leg whip.
The kick.
Here it is. Here it is. Watch this.
Oh.
Right to the face.
Right to Adam's hand. Right to Adam's lifeline. And again, Rev.
Oh, that's a good tackle.
Right.
There's some good stuff.
There
There's
you
an
go.
interception right there. Superior with the interception.
He just does it all, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a two-way player. Gosh, he's going to have to work a lot this year. He's a great player, boy. The college that gets him is going to be really happy.
So now we're watching Kaiser and I think Centennial at this point, right? Right.
That is who it looks
like. Do we get a chance to see?
And that's Eubanks, the quarterback, who's, this guy's a giant, absolute giant, big guy. He's going to, I don't even know if he'll play quarterback in college. He's so big. Nice arm, though.
That's a nice looking play right there. Yeah, he is just, look how big he looks right there.
He's like, when he was a sophomore, I thought he was a senior. Look at that. Look at how effortlessly he throws that ball.
You might see a hand now. You might see a hand.
Well,
There
yep,
it
there
is.
There it is. There it is. Looking at raw footage from a 4-way scrimmage we saw, then I will have some more highlights here in a
Between
moment for you.
Centennial, Rancho Verde,
Right.
Arlington, and Kaiser, you're looking at Centennial and Kaiser. Centennial just literally just marched right down the field.
Rancho Verde was actually, they were not in this scrimmage.
Excuse me, I said Rev.
He said
Rev,
Rancho
Rev.
Verde.
Hey, I think
Right.
one of the things I think is
Redlands
interesting.
East Valley,
One of the things I think
excuse
is
me.
interesting about this is that if you look at how like Centennial does not have a gigantic offensive line,
No.
but look at how they move.
Look at the splits too.
Right, and look at the gaps they've got there. But they're so quick on the outside that
Well-
it's going to be tough to defend them.
And he's playing out of the shotgun, and it was like a one-step and throw.
Plus, there's Adam's hand.
So here's a big
everybody.
play
Yeah.
right here.
That was the big play that just happened.
Oh,
There could be a big play here possibly too.
yeah. I'm
And
thinking.
there you go. It is.
Nice run.
See, Kaiser's defense just didn't show up tonight.
Well, Kaiser's kind of overmatched with these three other teams. Kaiser
Right.
plays a little bit lower division, and
There's another hand. Look
It's because they just scored right there.
If you see a hand, that's because there's a good play. There's another hand.
you've got a long lifeline there.
Right. There you go. All right, let's pause that. Let's come back out of that one for a minute and let's see what's going on in the rest of this. Randy Leyva's coming back up to talk more about it. So it was some good stuff there.
What do you got, Randy?
I have 2 new scores. We have Rubidoux and Yucca Valley tying at 14.
They finished tied, or is that game still underway?
We had the final score up as 14.
14-0?
14-14.
Wow.
And Rialto walking away with a 21-12 win over Moreno
Wow, that's a big one.
Valley.
Big
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Big
that's
one.
actually kind of shocking.
Right.
I'm kind of surprised. I lose.
I picked Moreno Valley.
I did too.
What was the final score again?
21-12.
Wow.
Wow.
90% of the fans picked Moreno Valley.
And wait a minute, and Gavin Pancho,
Yeah.
excuse me, he's the interim. Actually, I think he's the new head coach. He just took over the
Just took
Rialto
over, right.
program months ago, and he's got that team playing pretty well. They
Well,
just
we
beat
had
Rialto.
Don Markham in here the other night
Yeah.
talking to us about what led he was going to be the coach this season, and now Rialto. The thing about Rialto that we all know is that they have athletes, and if they can put it together,
and keep them eligible.
keep them together as a unit, they can be a very formidable program, just like any of the schools in Rialto. So this was I think this is a big win for them. Because this is a program that was really kind of been down, and then they go on beat Moreno Valley in the first game.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you have a Cajon Claremont score yet, Randy?
We don't have a Claremont score yet.
Notre Dame, Mary Star of the Sea. We have a final on that one. Same thing?
I've not seen
Call
a
us at
final yet.
951-260-0474 if you know final scores. Call us right now. We're taking calls right now. 951-260-0474. Looking for our first caller of the night in 2010 on HS GameTime Live. All right, Bishop Montgomery Vista Del Lago. Randy, you've got a score on that one. Bishop Montgomery Vista Del Lago. None.
We don't have an update on
Merida
that.
Valley Pacifica. We have a final on that one yet. It was 12-6 Pacifica, and Merida Valley was rallying the last time we saw that one.
We don't have an update on the Pacifica score yet.
I do have an update on another scrimmage that went on tonight between Arroyo Valley, Colton, Rim of the World, and Riverside Poly. Riverside Poly beat Arroyo Valley 31-0. Colton beat Poly 14-10. And in the words of a friend of mine, an assistant coach at Riverside Poly, we hammered Rim. So I guess they did pretty good. Not a lot of people are expecting a lot of things from the Riverside Poly program, but those are some decent teams. At least Colton's a good team.
Right.
And Arroyo Valley's got a lot of talent. And Rim of the World's I picked to win the Mountain Valley League over Notre Dame and the other teams in that league. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Riverside Poly's got a real tough row to hoe when they're playing in the Big 8.
Yeah, they really do, and that Big 8 is just. I mean, this year it's like you've got Centennial, you've got Norco, you've got you've got teams there that are perennially very, very strong. And
We had Santiago, which we thought was going
Right.
to do really well, and they've
Wait,
taken it on the
stop.
chin. I'm sorry.
What happened to the Sharks?
Is someone getting sick?
No. Someone's giddy over there.
Are you
Okay.
making?
That was almost the 30-point difference in that game.
35-20. That's not 30
49-20?
No, that was, it's 49-20. Okay.
Well, wait, hold on. Don't bury the Sharks. Dana Hills is no slouch of a program, but yes, they did take it on the chin tonight.
Right, they did. Okay.
I'm sorry, we do have an update on the Pacifica Marietta Valley. We have a final score of 15-7.
15-7. So Pacifica wins that one.
Pacifica takes that one.
15-7. So Marietta Valley going to 0-1. Pacifica holding on the road, winning that one as well. All right. Yucca Valley and Rubidoux, as you mentioned, that was a 14-14 tie. And Takowitz and Douglas. What was the final score on that one? 54-0.
54-0.
Right. And we talked about that one as well, whether that was going to be a good one or not. Elsinore and Otay Ranch, we were looking at that one a moment ago. It looks like Elsinore has won that one 28-16. So a good win for Elsinore. Silver Valley, Citrus Valley, looking for that one final as well. Roybal, California Military Institute, that was on Thursday night. Randy, what was the final score on that
31-28 over Roybal.
If you put that one in there, it'll probably work. So just try that. See if it works. That was awkward, sorry. Aquinas Desert Hot Springs. What do we have from that one? Down in the desert? Let me look at this one. I'll take a look at this one. It was 21-28 Desert Hot Springs. I'm going to say that might be a final. 28-21 Aquinas. Palm Springs beating Palm Desert 35-20. Desert Chapel Christian beating Marywood Palm Valley 28-14. Brawley knocking out Cathedral City 27-10, and 29 Palms winning 19-14 as well. Hamilton was a winner, we believe, tonight, playing Southwest out of San Diego. Let me check that one for you. No, it's a 18 tie going into overtime possibly as well. So we'll have more for you on that one as well. Temecula Valley beating Hemet 40-0. West Valley, Rancho Verde 31-14. Rancho Verde a victory there as well. Paloma Valley losing 35-0 over to Torrey Pines. Sorry, losing it there for a minute. And Marietta Valley was mentioned losing to Garden Grove Pacifica 15-7. What do you have to offer, Zink? Oh, he's listening. He's talking. Randy, so what do you think of tonight so far? What's your reaction?
Well, I just got a score update for you.
What's the score update?
We have Notre Dame 45-21 over
45
Mary
to
Star
21.
of the Sea Stars.
The Mary Star of the Sea Stars at 45.
Say that 5 times
Fight on,
fast.
Titans. Fight on.
The Homer talk goes forward. All right. 45-21 is Mary Star of the Sea, and goes down. And a good win on the road for Notre Dame. Interesting enough, Dave Zink probably can't hear me, but what I was mentioning was that they have a very interesting non-league schedule. Basically, they play 3 parochials and 2 Christian schools. It's an all kind of Christian school start to the season, so we'll see how that one goes for them as well. Looking for Cajon Claremont still? If you have it, send us. Call us, 951-260-0474. Rialto, big win, 21-12 over Moreno Valley. Heritage beat San Antonio earlier tonight, 34-31. And Hemet losing to Temecula Valley 40-0. Parkland Miller looking for that one still. Torrey Pines winning 35-0 over Paloma Valley. And Dana Hills rolling over Santiago 49-20. Ramona and King hooking up at King 30-0 for the Wolves as they take out Ramona. And next week we'll see Ramona at their new refurbished stadium. Canyon Springs, Citrus Hills, is there a final on that one yet? We don't have that one yet either. That was a tight one, I think. 57% of the fans picking that one as well. Great Oak Redlands 23-16. The Terriers holding off Great Oak to go to 1-0 on the season. Great expectations for Redlands this season as they move on. And Great Oak won this game last year 24-7. So Redlands gets a bit of payback there as well. Rancho Verde 31-14. Notional night, probably the most intriguing game of the night as far as games go. We'll show you some clips from that as well. Rancho Verde looking pretty strong. We saw Rancho Verde for one whole weekend at the Beaumont Passing Tournament. We knew they were going to be very strong. They have, I think they've run their record, their streak out to like 30-some games in the league record. And do you have a clip that
We'll be getting some clips in a second. We have the MOV AVI problem with that too, so it's being converted into an AVI, and then we'll have some San Jacinto Heritage clips right away for you.
Okay.
Just trying to get that together. So Dave's on that right now. So keep on with the scores.
All right, that's what. And then on Thursday night we talked about this Lakeside and Kennedy and La Palma. What was the final score on that one, Randy?
39-14.
39
La Palma Kennedy over Lakeside.
for Kennedy Lakeside. All right, and Etiwanda and Summit in a shootout between two teams that are basically they're basically closer than crosstown rivals between Etiwanda and Summit, both programs on the north side. What's the final score on that one?
42-35 over the Rancho Cucamonga, Etiwanda. What do they call that? The Beverly Hills of the Inland Empire, that I disagree with.
Oh, it's because you're a Corona honk. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, call us at 951-260-0474 if you have a question, a comment, like to talk about your team. All right, so we got some people in the chat room. Rialto winning big, 21-12 over Moreno Valley. If you have a comment or a question, please call us at 951-260-0474.
Shocking, we haven't got a call yet.
We haven't got a call yet.
Last year,
but it's week 0.
Oh yeah, it is week 0. But where's like Mike and Norco, Big Mike
They
from
don't
Norco.
play this week, so
Kevin from Cajon. Cajon's playing. Where's Kevin?
Yeah, where's Kevin from Cajon?
I mean, really, we got all these people we could be talking with, and we haven't talked to any of them.
There's KMS00 over here in the chat room. He's whooping up, or she, or whoever it is whooping up the Rialto score. I gotta say that's probably one of the biggest eye openers of the night, because I really thought that Moreno Valley was going to take care of business and knock them out.
There's been a couple of them, but that one right there I didn't see coming.
Right, absolutely. That was one I didn't see coming at all. All right, so Notre Dame, big win on the road against Mary Star of the Sea.
Did you predict anything else? Come on.
I think I'm like 0-10 on the night. Unbelievable.
Yeah, you are suffering. I did pick Notre Dame myself.
Wait a minute, let me look at this right here. Let me call it up right now, because I have that available to me right now. I have the contest. Why
don't we do this?
No. I'm on a roll right now. I'm gonna look at this right now.
Why don't we just go through the percentages of what people picked really quick?
Wait. I can do that too. Let me just look at this.
Oh, you can do that too,
right.
So I can't?
Right, okay. 89% picked Temecula Valley. 83% picked Torrey Pines. Okay, so that was good. 64% picked Citrus Hill. 94% picked Redlands. 88% picked King. 88% picked San Jacinto. 90% picked Rancho Verde. 90% picked Moreno Valley. So a couple of big upsets here early on. Rubidoux, 80% picked Rubidoux. That game ends in a tie. Citrus Valley, 86% picked Citrus Valley. We don't have the final score on that one as well either. Let me look at the VIP picks here. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at this one. All right, Days Inc. picked Temecula Valley, win. Picked Torrey Pines, win. Citrus Hill, we don't know. Redlands, win. San Jacinto, loss. King, win. Rancho Verde, win. Moreno Valley, loss. So there's your Yucca Valley, that's a tie, so I don't know how that works in the scoring. Silver Valley, we don't know what that's going to be, but that's probably going to be a loss, because that was really a bad pick on your part.
Wow.
Okay, and then I picked because.
So how many losses was that for?
That was 2. You're 8-2 and you're 7-2-1.
Okay.
7-2-1.
And how are you doing, Lewis?
Okay, I picked Temecula Valley. I picked Paloma Valley, so that's a loss.
Yeah.
I picked Canyon Springs. You don't know the outcome of that. I picked Redlands, I picked San Jacinto, I picked King, Rancho Verde, Moreno Valley, Rubidoux, and Citrus Valley. So I could be
San Jacinto lost.
I could be 6-4 at this point.
Is that right? Heritage beat San Jacinto?
Heritage beat San Jacinto, right.
So you're like 6-4?
I could be 6-4, but we don't know the Canyon Springs Citrus game. You do. Yes, you do. All right.
We do?
Here comes young Drexler in here.
No scores.
Canyon Springs, go to Randy and
Let's
make
go
sure
to
your
the
mic's
update
turned
desk.
on.
My mic has been turned on. He turned me off.
Continue.
We have the Citrus Hill Canyon Springs game. Final score 51-25.
Who won the game?
Citrus Hill.
Okay,
I'm sorry. That was confusing in any
25,
way.
Yes.
That was their 34th consecutive regular season victory.
34th consecutive
Regular season victory.
So we'll have to talk to I don't know who covered that game.
That
for
was
us,
Eric. No, it was not.
It was
I
not
take
Eric.
it back. It was Kevin Pearson, I believe, covered that
It'd be
game.
interesting to talk to them about that, because that's a big one, a big win for them as well, because there's a lot of questions about that. We saw Canyon Springs a little bit, so but 57% picking. There's a phone ringing somewhere.
A phone?
Oh, it's Dennis Pope is ringing. Let's take a quick break here while we get this.
We should have Dennis Pope call us
right.
on Skype.
We can call him right now. Hey, Dennis Pope, call us on Skype. 260-0474. All right, call me back.
So Dennis Pope.
Dennis Pope's going to call us on Skype right now.
I believe Dennis Pope was at that game also.
Right.
I'll have to wait and see here. But getting back to the scores, what do you got for us?
Drexler just left with my updated score list.
Great.
51-21, Citrus Hill, though. That's a big one, though.
That is real. Well, I mean, you were thinking maybe Citrus Hill would have a little bit of a drop-off. Oh, here we go. Let's answer the phone. And who do we got?
This is Dennis.
Hey, Dennis, how's it going? What game are we at?
I covered King and Ramona tonight.
And what was the score of that game?
King won 30-0.
Hey, are you downstairs? Are you downstairs?
Wait a minute. King shut out Ramona 30-0?
That's correct.
Wow.
Yes, I'm down in the parking lot.
Okay, we'll send Drexler down to get to let you into the building.
Hey, and
Okay.
tell me.
Hey, go down and let Dennis Pope in downstairs.
Give us
Drexler, listen.
give us a little bit of a quick recap on that while you're waiting.
Okay, Todd Hundley, he got off to a great start. He rushed for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns on 25 carries. 246.
246, 3 touchdowns. On how many carries?
25 carries.
So he pretty much ran the offense.
Yeah, that's correct.
Not a lot else.
Return punts didn't have a whole lot of left there, though.
How fast does he look tonight? I mean, he's really fast. I mean, what did
He looks like he's bulked up about 10 or 15 pounds. He looks a little meaner, a little bit bigger. Like he's ready to take some punishment from the Big 8 this year.
And it sounds like, well, was the shutout more an effect of the fact that King's got a great defense, or that Ramona's just not moving the ball?
Ramona had a lot of trouble moving the ball. They had negative 18 yards in the first half total.
Wow.
But King dominated possession. Handley, just broke off long runs. The second play from scrimmage of the whole game was a 34-yard touchdown run. So
wow, that's pretty good. So and
he also had a 75-yard touchdown run.
And so it was a track meet.
All right, Dennis. We're sending young Drexler down. You can talk about it a little bit more with us later, and we'll pick your brain about a few things here. We'll get your tape here, and we'll see some of those highlights from Mr. Hanley running amok there as well. All right.
Well, and just like he called in, please call in. Tell us if you were at a game. Give us your observations from whatever game you covered, or maybe you tell us the score. Maybe you can tell us we have a wrong score. I don't think we do, but we could try it out.
Right.
So call us anytime, 951-260-0474.
Chat room now
line.
is basically a two-man operation now between a couple of guys there as well. So we'll keep that in mind here as we move forward. All right.
Well, we're slowly getting caught up on the scores.
Did we get that result in yet, or what was that, Jeff Perney?
Desert Hot Springs defeats Aquinas 28-21.
Right.
I think Aquinas led that early too.
Right.
So. Damian Payne of Citrus Hill had 300 plus yards.
Wow.
Oh, excuse me, Davian Payne. Excuse me. So outstanding performance by him. Citrus Hill comes out and wins their 34th consecutive regular season game. Obviously, they just reloaded and kept on going. And you know what? That's, I think, Zolmalt's first victory as a head coach.
I was going to say that too. I mean, a lot of new coaches this season getting first wins. And the Temecula Valley guy, Jeff, what's the Temecula Valley's coach's name? Robertson, a great win, 40-0 to get that program back on track. I mean, Temecula Valley, don't you agree? Zink should be one of the preeminent programs in the region, and they get a big win against him. I mean, was 2-8 coming into the season, but I like that a lot. Here comes Pope. Actually, tell him to bring it in here. 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 Come back. Just yell at him. So. Okay, here comes Drexler now. We got to get a Drexler cam. Is Dennis done with his story? Hey, a couple things I want to just touch on. Oh, here we go. Here's a call. It's probably David Bradvica.
It's HS GameTime Live. Who we got on the phone? It's
Hello.
HS GameTime.
Oh, no.
Wah, wah, wah.
So
Oh,
close.
terrible.
I'm sure they'll call back. It was probably just a bad
Right.
connection.
Call us back 951-260-0474. All right, what do you got? Do you have new stuff for us, Mr. What?
I bring you new stuff when it comes, man.
Look at that. Look at that.
I'm not sure if I'm repeating a score, but I do have Desert Hot Springs 28 over Aquinas 21.
You've got that one already. So what do you, Randy? What
I'm
do you?
sorry,
have,
I'm done.
Randy,
I'm done.
no. Give us the rest of your scores. Let's reset the scores with Randy.
Okay, come back to me.
Right, come back to you.
All right, Torrey Pines 35-0 over Paloma Valley. Anza Hamilton 15-9 over Southwest. Temecula Valley 40-0 over Hemet. Redlands 23-16 over Gray Oak. Dana Hills 49-20 over Santiago. One more time. Dana Hills 49-20 over Santiago.
Okay, your homerism is now completely out of hand. Now I don't know what's going on.
Rancho
with you, but-
Cucamonga
completely out of hand.
42-7 over Silverado tonight. Holtzville 16-15, a close one over Calvary Marietta. King 30-0 shutout over Ramona. Let's not bag on Ramona too much. That is a young team. Pacific 15-7 over Marietta Valley, and Notre Dame 45-21 over Mary Star of the Sea Stars.
You like adding the stars part of that, don't you?
I don't know.
What's up with that?
It makes me sound sophisticated.
You know, there's
to say
like
the
a whole thing in there. Like there's a pretty good discussion about whether or not that's like Chicken of the Sea or Mary Star of the Sea, or it's just pretty good. So,
All right, we're making fun of
okay, here we go. Let's keep moving on. What else do we got? We're going to okay. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with more. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back with more.
Aquinas beat Desert Hot Springs 21-20.
No, Desert Hot Springs.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, my red light isn't even.
All right, everybody, we're back on live, and we got a caller now from Vista Del Lago. He's got a score for us. Go
That's
ahead.
Kenny from Vista Del Lago. Kenny, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys self?
We're doing great. So what's the score you got from Vista Del Lago?
Score 43-0. Montgomery, Bishop Montgomery.
Bishop Montgomery defeated Vista Del Lago 43-20.
0.
43-0.
I'm sorry,
Wow.
43-0. Wow. And how did obviously you're a Vista Del Lago a supporter, so I guess it was a pretty rough game, huh?
Yeah, it just it was tough. Same thing year after year. We're out there supporting the boys, and disappointing after season.
Did Bishop Montgomery look pretty good tonight? I mean, athletically, what do they look like? I mean, that's usually a pretty good program. What was your take on them tonight?
They look really strong. They had a pretty good passing game. It looked like they were throwing the ball a lot. The runs were really good. Decent kicker as well.
Okay. Well,
And any bright points for Vista Del Lago this evening?
That they're out there playing. That's all I could basically say. Just the same old thing every year, year after year. Same plays, or a lot of running of the quarterback this year that I saw, but didn't really go too far.
Well, Kenny, I really appreciate you calling in, even on a rough night like tonight. Hopefully, your loyalty to that program will finally pay off with a few wins this year. Obviously, a rough night tonight, so hopefully we'll talk to you again next week, and you can report to us a victory. Thanks for calling in, Kenny.
Definitely. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Okay.
yeah,
You too,
thanks a
bud.
lot. Our first caller of the season is Kenny from
Vista Del Lago,
Very
and you
nice.
know what? Hey, wait. It's a tough loss, a shutout loss, a 43-point loss, I believe. And you know what? He's still calling in. You got to love fans like that.
Right.
By the way, I do have some footage from the San Jacinto game if we'd like to go to it.
Dave, can you just take that and that's from the King game, and Dennis is out here somewhere. Go ahead and start beginning just that, and we'll bring that on as well.
If you'd like to switch to the I have some San Jacinto
Right.
heritage.
Let's look at it.
All right, so I'm going to cut over to it. Remember, you can call in again at 951-260-0474. Here we go. I'm going to drop down the fade, and here we go. Let's watch some footage here from San Jacinto and Heritage. It looks like the Tigers will play some football.
No, I think they controlled this game early on.
It seems.
That's part of it.
Let's see.
Right.
So, some good stuff from one of our cameramen, Dave Hoffman. Got some video of a nice pass. Wow, puts it back inside. Now, you know a lot about the San Jacinto program.
This is their kicker, name escapes me on top of the head. You make that? Yep,
Wow.
long field goal.
That was
Give me one. Mondragon, right? Will Mondragon, yeah. Well, he hit the 50-yarder at the end of the world last year. It's also a defense looking good out there. But you know what? Let's talk about the Heritage. They really, we only have first half highlights here. The big one, number 2 from Heritage.
Touchdown.
Gets in there.
I'll tell you what, the most passing all right.
I wonder if Heritage is going to do a team maybe, challenge with somebody. San Jacinto this is probably a wake-up call for San Jacinto that they've got to now. This is a team that they're familiar with and that is moving up, and they've taken care of it in the past.
Yeah, it fits you a bit of that. They were not bad last year. They're still a young program trying to grow off the line, and I think they took it to a well-established program, one of the oldest programs in the world.
Right. And San Jacinto has had great success. Historically, San Jacinto has had some difficulty starting off the season. And I think that's one of the hallmarks of a good coach is that they have the ability to bring their programs back. So I don't know. San Jacinto,
Sounds of that one.
they got some big kids on there. So again, 10-7 there in the first period. And I think it would stay that way. But then you see some action here from Heritage.
Nice. It splits two defenders, comes back for the ball, and makes a nice catch. Got him rolling to his right, throwing right, and another nice throw. They're down inside the 5 there. Looks like they had to go for the field goal. No good. And San Jacinto with the ball, breaking it outside and the 4.
San Jacinto, has had this kind of wide open offense, like to throw the ball. Bill Powell, the coach there, a big fan of Matt Logan. He likes to have that kind of spread offense. Here, look at this play, Dave Zink. Interception return for.
quarterback is making into space, too.
Excellent game. Who's playing that?
And that's all we have. Let's go back to Lewis. So there you have it, a little bit of action from the San Jacinto Heritage game. Heritage ended up winning that game, Lewis. What was the score?
34-31. And
34-31.
Good game. Probably one of our closest games of the night.
Now, and didn't they come back to win that?
They did come back in the fourth quarter.
They did a double pass.
Right.
And what was there, a late field goal?
Late field goal, a double pass, late field goal to win it. They had a couple turnovers in the fourth quarter, and they took care of business and won that game as well. Hey, young Drexler, did you give that disc to him? He's looking for the Syndicaster Z storage file and also looking for the Redlands Great Oak files as well.
Okay.
Did you give him? Did you put it in there?
I have it. Yes, yes, I do.
Okay.
I will. Give me 1 second.
Okay, we're going to go back and look at. Oh, Randy's got stuff for us now. Let's cut to Randy.
Overtime.
Is your microphone on?
Overtime score. Is it on? I should be on.
Okay. Okay. What do you got?
Her mic is not on.
Your mic's not on.
I'm on.
Okay. Go ahead. She's on.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We have Southwest 25-18
She's
over
not on.
Hamilton
Your microphone's not on.
in overtime. Well,
Okay. Cut back to me. Let's go back. I'm going to go back with the score. I'm going to reset all the scores. And let's go back. West Valley and Rancho Verde 31-14. We had some results from there as well. Moving on, 23-16. Redlands beating Great Oak. 51-25. Citrus Hill beating Canyon Springs. King knocking out Ramona. We'll have some highlights from that. 30-0. 49-20. Check the mute button. 49-20. Santiago. Torrey Pines, 35-0. Paloma Valley. Upland. Miller still looking for that score. 40-0. Temecula Valley over Hemet. Heritage beating San Jose. We saw some highlights from that one as well. 34-31. And let's see. And I think the big eye opener of the night was Rialto taking care of Moreno Valley 21-12. Cajon Claremont looking for that score. Notre Dame 45-21 on the road over Mary Star of the Sea. Bishop Montgomery crushes Vista Del Lago 43-0. And I'm trying to get, when we get Eric Paul Johnson here later, we'll try to get a sense of what that means exactly. Is Bishop Montgomery that good? Is Vista Del Lago going to have some struggles this season? Murrieta Valley 15-7. They fall to Pacifica on the road. Yucca Valley, Rubidoux apparently ended a tie 14-all. We'll try to confirm that score as well. Douglas gets rocked by Tahakwa. It's 54-0. And Elsinore 28-16 over Otay Ranch. Silver Valley, Citrus Valley, we don't have that score yet right now. California Military Institute beat Roybal on Friday or on Thursday night. So there we go. What do you got, Zink?
Well, I've got some highlights. I'm not sure what game this is from.
I think it's from Ranch. Zinnicaster is from Hemet and Temecula Valley.
Okay, so let me
see if that actually plays first.
I actually am doing it straight from the drive. Hold on 1 second. Go there. I'm cutting to it, and here we go. Excuse me.
All right, so that was Garrison Holmes on a punt pass. This is Temecula Valley playing a long pass from Derek Fran. All right, so Roosevelt Monk is on a run for Hemet. Scott from Temecula Valley, and quite a night tonight as well. For the life of it, not in this guy's name ever.
It's okay. He can't remember.
That's all right. Sacked by Jerome McElroy. Nicholas Robinson. This is Nicholas Robinson. This is a safety, and this is the kind of night that we have with Temecula Valley.
Oh, there we go. Back to you, Lewis.
There we go.
You know, and I have to say, it's been a rough couple years for Hemet. They bring in a new coach. Matt Georgia, right?
Matt Georgia, right?
And I thought, we were talking to him. He's talking about turning the program around and all, and that just doesn't look like a good start to the season for them.
Well, I think him. I mean, this is not where they wanted to be. I knew they were going to have some issues when they lost to Pacific in a passing tournament earlier in the year, and I thought that was going to be a struggle for him. Paul McGowan,
the coach at Temecula.
New coach at Temecula Valley, and Paul McGowan having a good night. Let's look at Temecula Valley. They play Corona, at Lakeside, and then play home to Elsinore before they enter into the. And they have Paloma Valley. So, what they've done is I think they've kind of brought down the schedule a little bit. They have some games that make more sense, I think, for them as well. Whereas Hemet is going to have, Hemet played some tough ones as well for themselves. They play at Valley View. They play home against Valley View. Then they go to Indio. Then they play host to Paris. Then they go on the road to Heritage before they open up Mountain Valley League play on October 15th against West Valley.
Well, and Lou, I'm going to fade to something right over the top of you. And if you look at it, people out we're playing in our game, picking the Pick'em game.
Right.
81% pick Temecula Valley over Hemet.
That doesn't surprise me. I think I picked Temecula Valley too. I mean, I don't think that we're going to see anything magical this year.
But these are both programs that are coming off of really tough years, and it looks like Temecula Valley. Well, they're playing Hemet, but they might have something going here.
I think the disconcerting thing for Hemet right now is that they just aren't scoring points. And if you look at last year, I mean, they just did not score points at all. I mean, if you look at their they lost last year 24-0. They had two of the worst defeats in the school's history. And I brought this up last year when they lost to Palm Desert. It was the first time ever in a program that had more than 900 games that they allowed 60 points or more in a game. So. Having a mic issue with Randy, so we're fixing it right now. I'm not sure what the mic issue is, but Adam's making a lot of noise.
Yeah, well, and it was dead.
Right.
There wasn't anything with it. But, again, if you want to call in and give us your update on your team from tonight, Week 0 games, you can call 951-260-0474. We'd love to hear from you. I'm kind of disappointed.
Well, I want to hear from a Rialto fan because Rialto had just a tremendous night.
I would love to hear from someone from Rialto. In fact, there's someone in our chat room from Rialto. They should probably give us a call so we can talk to them about the game. The other thing I'm disappointed about is our good friend and your good friend, Dave Bradvica, has not called yet. Where are you at, Dave?
Dave Bradvica, usually
he told me 10:30 he was going to be calling in.
10:45. He's already passed his date as well.
I think he's celebrating.
I guess he is.
I mean, going crazy.
Good win as well. Let's look ahead to the next week's schedule though, while we have the chance, and because I think that's the thing that's going to be interesting as we go into Week 1. Really, as we begin the season in earnest, and right now, and there's so many games like Altaloma at Carter. I'm looking through the schedule right now. Banning plays at Bloomington. Barstow at Kaiser. There's some good opening night games. Beaumont versus Cathedral City. That's going to be at San G Middle School up in Beaumont. So San Gregorio Middle School, Cathedral City. Cathedral City lost tonight in the season debut of the new coach there, Rich McClure. Looking further down the road here, I'm just kind of glancing at the schedule, some of the games we're going to have. Colony playing at Ayala, Colton at Chaffee, and we'll be here to see a new era under Coach Bray there over at Colton, see how he does. Claremont at Bonita. A couple other ones we're looking at here. Eisenhower at Cajon, looking for that Cajon score as well. So Week 1 will be very, very busy, as we said. Probably the best game that we'll see next week will be, let me go back to that real quick. Well, we're going to see Chaparral next week. They're going to play Oceanside at home. Oceanside's already 0-1. They lost in their season opener last night before. And Chaparral has that kind of interesting, schedule. They play Central in Week 2 from Fresno. They play that at home. They have basically 3 home games in a row, including hosting Centennial on October 24th. And that will be a game that we don't want to miss. Then they go to Servite on October 2nd. September 24th for Centennial. On October 2nd, they play at Servite at Santa Ana Stadium. So a very interesting non-league schedule for Chaparral here as they get their first 4 games against teams that are capable of going to state bowl games, as we mentioned before. Some of the other games you'll be looking at down the road here next week out of the Southwestern League, Great Oak moves up and they'll play Rancho Cucamonga at home. Myrna Mesa plays West Valley to open things up for their season as they really move into a varsity schedule. Myrna Valley already losing to Garden Grove Pacifica. They will play home to Escondido. Play host Escondido. Now, we've mentioned Temecula Valley. They'll play at Corona next week, and as Corona makes its season debut. Vista Murrieta at home against Etowanda. And, of course, Etowanda losing to Summit this week. They're now 0-1 to start the season. Let's look at the Big 8 next week as well. As we really begin in earnest, we saw one Big 8 team really in action tonight, and that was, of course, two Big 8 teams. Santiago losing on the road to Dana Hills, and then King rolling over Ramona 30-0. So they both are 1-0. But Centennial, they play Birmingham on the road up in Van Nuys to start the Week 1 games. Corona was mentioned is playing host to Temecula Valley. King then will play Elsinore, and that should be a good game, Dave Zink, if you're still with us. You're working on some other things. Norco and Crenshaw. Now that's going to be the game, probably the big game of the night, as Crenshaw and Norco. That's a game that will be televised. It's a late game. It's like 8:30 at night. We'll see what happens. Coach Paradis returns to North to open up, and they play on the road against Los Osos. So we'll be very curious to see what North looks like this season. Riverside Poly plays at Ramona as they christen the new stadium over there, the revamped stadium. There will be a dramatically different look to the stadium as we move forward. Roosevelt plays at Torrance at Zamperini Stadium on Friday night, and Santiago plays plays home to Chino Hills as we look forward to next week. Let's go back through our final scores here. If you have a question or a comment you'd like to ask us tonight, 951-260-0474. Here we go. Let's talk about the first one. West Valley losing to Rancho Verde 31-14. Emotional night for Rancho Verde. We had some of those clips as well. Redlands beating Great Oak 23-16. Citrus Hill beats Canyon Springs 51-25. Ramona and King hooked up, and there's Randy Leva. Randy, how are you doing?
And I'm back.
You are back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
We had a dead mic amongst everything else audio-wise. She had a dead mic, so we had to fix it.
And I had the on button flipped to on.
It's okay. And so what do you got in scores there, Randy?
I have an overtime final score. Southwest 25 over Hamilton 18, 25-18. Southwest over Hamilton.
All right, very nice.
Back to you, Lewis.
What else do you have? That's all you have?
That's all we got in the last 4 minutes and 33.
Where's Cajon, Citrus, Cajon? Where's the Cajon score at? They don't have that score? Okay. All right. We'll keep working on that one. Dave, I just kind of ran down some of the scores that are out there. What are some of your thoughts so far? What's the biggest surprise tonight for you?
The biggest surprise for me this evening is the fact that King really did much better than I expected. I'm not that Ramona's a great program. They're still building a program, but King did very well. Hanley's back the way that he was last year,
right,
running away from people and scoring a lot of points. But I would have to say Rialto winning is the most shocking victory for me tonight.
There's a call.
We've got a call. Why don't we go to the call? Hi, it's David Zink with HS GameTime Live. Who we got on the phone?
Hey, you got D-Jam on the phone.
I'm sorry, your name?
D-Jam.
D-Jam, how you doing, man? So what game were you at tonight?
No, I wasn't at the game tonight. I was just calling in regarding to you guys' picks today for the all area teams and so on. I know you guys don't give the small schools no love, man.
No love. Who do you think should have been on the picks? Did you have been on there or someone else you know?
Oh yeah,
Go ahead.
No, not me. Riverside Christian has one of the best running backs in the area. You guys never mention it.
All right, Riverside Christian. We'll keep that one in mind as well.
And what's his name?
DJ Gordon.
DJ Gordon. Can you tell us a little bit about DJ?
Oh yeah, 1,900 yards last year. He played what he calls Junior All-American, all the kids from Corona and all those. But he went to a private school.
Sure.
Yeah, one of the best running backs in the area.
Well, we'll have to keep, you have to keep us abreast of everything that's going on with DJ this year. We try to get out to as many games as we can. Obviously, we can't get to all the games. You guys play games, day games on Saturday, or you play many at night on Friday?
Oh, we have several Friday night games this year. We have about 4 Friday night games.
And you guys are playing on the road this week, right? You guys are going to Vegas or where?
Yeah, We're going to Vegas. We're going to Vegas tomorrow.
Right.
Well,
so are you going to watch, or what are you up to?
Oh yeah, I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be there to watch them.
So you're going to call us next week and tell us how he did, right?
All right, I call you guys from there tomorrow to tell the score.
Well, we won't be in tomorrow, but you can call us next week and let us know all about it.
We'll have our preview show on Tuesday night, and we'll be back again next Friday night, not rocking through all the scores. So please give us a call back, and we appreciate you supporting Riverside Christian football.
All righty, you guys have a good evening.
You have a good night. Best of luck to you guys tomorrow night. There we go.
Cajon, Claremont 31-14.
And I don't know if we've given this score yet, Lewis, but we had a Citrus Valley Silver Valley final. Did we get that yet? Citrus Valley 51-14. That's a final. Citrus Valley.
You pick Silver Valley.
Wow. You know, I'm trying to give the scores. That's all I'm trying to do.
I'm sorry. I like Silver Valley. Silver Valley is one of those schools you never know what you're going to get with them because who knows it's going to be the Marine base. It's kind of like 29 Palms.
Exactly.
Right. They don't have quite the athletic tradition of 29
And
Palms.
Citrus Valley is a pretty much brand new program. You know, it's right. It's right on the edge of Yucaipa and Redlands, and obviously they've got that program up and running pretty fast.
All right, Randy Leva here. What do you got, Randy, for us as far as scores go?
I think you just announced it. I'm just a step too late.
Hold on just one second. Right. We got another call.
Go back to this.
Oops, I'm sorry. Let me go to.
Who's this?
As David Zink with HS GameTime Live. Who we got on the phone?
This is Paul Jensen from Temecula, California.
Hey, Paul Jensen. So Temecula Valley, they look pretty good tonight. What do you think of them?
I think they're great. I think they have a good offense, and their defense was pretty strong tonight. They held Hemet scoreless, and I think that's great.
So, I mean, Hemet did not look like they could really, execute very well. It looks like Temecula Valley put a lot of pressure on them just from the clips that you sent us. So, would that be accurate defensively?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right, Paul.
And so, what do you think? Start to the new coach at Temecula Valley. You guys looked rather. You looked a step faster than Hemet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I don't know what you asked there.
All right, Paul.
Thanks so much for calling in. We'll talk to you again soon. Lewis?
Yes. Poor kid. I mean, he did a great job. He got some clips.
He did. You know what? He had some outstanding clips. Actually, he had it in frame every time. We got to give him that credit.
The other clip I gave you was Rancho Verde in West Valley, and the first one we tried to show, it just didn't play very well. So that might be the one you might want to look at here. I'm getting Redlands Great Oak as well.
Wait a minute. I'm at a loss. What are you talking about?
I sent you the clip over there. It's in that drive, so you need to look for that. It's Rancho Verde in West Valley.
Okay, I got to go find it. Give me 1 second.
All right, so I've also got Redlands and Great Oak clips as well, and we'll get that to you here in a moment. If you get that drive back for me, I'll put it in there for you. Okay, so let's keep going. Randy, so what happened with Cajon and Claremont?
Claremont 31-14 over Cajon.
31-14 over Cajon, and Notre Dame 45-21 over Mary Star of the Sea. Let's go through your list. What happened the rest of the night, too? What else we got for him, starting with Bishop Montgomery and Vista del Lago?
Vista del Lago, Bishop Montgomery 43 over Vista del Lago, shutout 43-0. Citrus Valley 51-14 over Silver Valley. Notre Dame 45-21 over Mary Star. That's all I'm saying tonight is Mary Star. No more of the whole name thing. Pacifica 15-7 over Merida Valley. King, another shutout there, 30-0 over Ramona. And Holtville 16-15 over Calvary Marietta tonight.
All right, very nice. Very nice.
Hey,
as well.
Lou, just to let you know, on that drive that you gave me, I didn't find any Rancho Verde. I only found the Cinnacaster.
Oh, it's in there. You just didn't look hard enough.
Lewis.
Clearly. Let me look. I'll find it right now for you.
Yeah. Is it in another folder? Because it's not in there.
So Rancho Valley, West Valley clips right next to Cinnacaster.
No, that's from 7-Eleven. There's stuff in there from this summer.
No, I'm looking at it right now. So let me put this other clip in here too as well. How are those clips coming from Ramona and King, young Drexler? Can you get us some coffee too?
Poor guy.
I know.
You're doing a great job,
right.
Drexler.
Right. Good job.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Give him some praise.
Okay.
He'll have better performance.
Here we go. Let's keep looking here. Let's see. Yeah, if you'd like to give us a call and let us know how things are going as well, let us know and give us a call at 951-260-0474. Let's take a break for a minute and let's take a break, reset some scores. We'll be right back in a moment here on HS GameTime Live. You are watching us here from the Press Enterprise in Riverside.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey, everybody, we're back.
We got a call on Skype from Miriam Swanson, who has just been covering what game, Miriam?
The Paloma Valley Torrey Pines game.
Oh, wow. You saw, obviously, a lopsided loss.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
I guess the positive thing is that it looked like it was going to be much, much, much worse, and it wasn't. So.
And what do you mean by that?
That's good. Torrey Pines put 21 up in the first quarter, and Paloma couldn't do anything, and Torrey Pines looked like they were just going to score every time they touched the ball. But then it ended up only being 35-0. So.
Oh, wow. So I guess Paloma got off to a rough start and actually finished the game stronger than – I guess the score shows a worse, a more lopsided victory or loss than it was.
Exactly.
So it's just a rough start to the game. And anybody of note for Paloma Valley?
Oh, God, I can't pronounce the kid's name. They got a defender who, was in on it, seemed like every single tackle. It's like his number 29, Fahad, maybe, something like that.
Okay.
I'll write about him soon so that you can meet him, everyone. But, yeah, he was a stud on defense, for sure. He was by far their defensive standout.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Oh, I just cut her. I'm sorry. I just cut her off. Excuse me. So what else we got, Lou?
I don't know. What do you got, Randy? You got anything over there?
We don't have any new updates as of right now.
All right. Why don't you take the folder and start from the start over again? Let's just go through all the scores we've got right now, and let's see if we have anybody that has anything to offer us at this point.
Okay, let's start from the top with, do you want Thursday scores?
Yes, go with Thursday scores, and we'll go from there.
Okay, let me get you Thursday scores. We had La Palma Kennedy 39-14 over Lake Elsinore Lakeside. That was actually at home for La Palma. They had that victory. Fontana Summit 42 over Rancho Cucamonga Etowanda 42-35 Summit. Paris California Military Institute 31 over Roybal 28, close game there. Rough Riders just couldn't pull through. We have Torrey Pines, which we just had a call about, 35-0 over Paloma Valley, a shutout there. Hamilton 15-9 over San Diego Southwest. Temecula Valley 40-0 over Hemet. Redlands 23-16 over Great Oak. Dana Hills 49-20 over Santiago. Rancho Cucamonga 42-7 over Silverado. Heritage 34-31 over San Jacinto. Holtzville 16-15 over Calvary Marietta, another close game right there. And King, another shutout, 30-0 over Ramona High School. Pacifica 15-7 over Marietta Valley, and Notre Dame 45-21 over Mary Star of the Sea Star. And we have Bishop Montgomery 43-0 over Vista del Lago, Citrus Valley 51-14 over Silver Valley, and Claremont 31-14 over Cajon.
And there's some unimpressed people in the chat room about Cajon right now. And basically they shouldn't be mentioned in the same sentence as the Cowboys. It'd be fun to talk to Kevin from Cajon, who was one of our ardent fans last year, talking about how Cajon was a team that's poised, but Claremont's that's a tough team. I think that's probably a pretty difficult opening game for Cajon playing Claremont. I think that game was on the road, right, Randy? That game was at Claremont?
That game was at Claremont.
Did we get a Miller Upland score yet? That's one that I was kind of interested in doing as well. Okay.
Drexler's shaking his head.
Drexler's shaking his head. He doesn't know. He's over there eating a donut.
There's no breaks in here.
Randy, what's he
doing?
He's
on the clock.
He's on the clock. Go find that score.
Unacceptable.
Drive to Upland right now and find that score. Look at him. He's eating one of those donuts with sprinkles on it. I should turn the camera around and find there. Who's going to be our first guest? My goodness.
Hey, Lou, I got some highlights from the Great Oak game. Would we like to jump to those? Or
yeah, let's show those.
Okay, just one second.
Let's make sure that it works. But I think it will, though.
It already does.
All right, that's excellent. Okay,
I just want to go there, and here we go. We're going to show some highlights
Jennifer
from
Whitaker.
This is Great Oak Redlands.
Right.
I guess I should take you. And there you go, Redlands with a long pass
we
for
know
a
it's
touchdown. Oh, that's a big pass.
You'd fall over because you'd be injured.
Oh,
There you go. These are highlights from the Redlands, Great Oak game, yes.
15-2 at that point.
Redlands up 15-2.
Call.
Let's hit pause on that for a second. Let's go to the call. Hi, it's David Zink with HS GameTime Live. Who's on the phone?
Louis Brewster.
Louis Brewster.
Louis, how you doing?
Who won the Miller Upland game, Louis?
Oh, well, my final review was Uplands, 21-16.
Wow.
Although we give you 17 because I can't add.
Did you cover that game, Louis?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so this is Louis Brewster, everybody.
I'm not like you guys over there. You get paid a lot of money, you don't get out of the office.
Hey, Louis, we got out of the office to go to El Pollo Loco.
Well, that's about right. Yeah. You can tell just by watching your video, you guys haven't stopped going to El Pollo Loco.
No. Even me? What's that?
Ouch.
Wow.
You
What about
great.
what about Randy? Yeah, show Randy again.
Wait, you want here? A little
I think I just unmiked myself.
Hey, Louis.
there you go. Hey, Louis, come on.
That's
You got-
not Louis Amistoy, though.
No, that is not Louis Amistoy.
Oh, please change that.
El Pollo Loco.
There you go. Our newest addition to the HS GameTime Live staff, Randy Leva. What do you think?
Yep, very
Well,
nice.
I think she's hit the salad bar quite hard.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Lou, we're talking to Lou Brewster, who is the sports editor of The Sun and the Inland Valley Daily Bulletin. He joined us quite a few times last year. So Upland and Miller, I mean, clearly one of the best games in San Bernardino County. Did it live up to that? I mean, that's a great game. No?
It was not up to anything.
Really?
It was a terrible game. 2 late fumbles make the difference. Otherwise, it's kind of a 9-9 tie, and Nunes didn't look particularly sharp for Upland. The Miller quarterback, it's Eric Shufford, he did okay. He passed for almost 285 yards, something like that. So he did a good job. But it was just 2 late fumbles. He threw a pitch away and they got it to 1. Then he fumbled again and they ran it in from 51 yards out. So that was the difference.
What is your what's your take on the where teams are at right now in the season? What do you think? Who stands out in your mind?
Well, I think this
Yeah.
is the Central.
He's on the phone
Inland
right now. I'm
Conference,
going to
whatever the
decline
hell
it
it's
for
called.
right now. I think this is
It's going to be pretty competitive. I think the baseline may win 1 or 2 games in the first round, and I think maybe the Sierra League will win a game or 2 in the first round. But I think basically it's going to be, the big 8.
All right. Yeah, I think I think you're right.
Southwestern team.
But I mean, it seems like the baseline of the Sierra Leagues can hang with the Big 8 as well. So we'll see what happens with this as we go along here. Hey, Louis.
But I think it's good for the area because they should just call it the I-15 conference because you're going up and down the 15 there, and I think it's going to create a lot of rivalries and a lot of crowds. And,
right.
And CIF stands for cash and football, so they'll do all right.
All right, don't tell them that. Okay. Hey, Louis, we've got to run, but let's talk to you again.
Who are you going to run to now? El Pollo Loco
I
again?
do. I got to make a run for the border to Taco Bell
Yeah,
next.
I'm sure you do.
All right, Louis, we'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right,
Thanks, guys. All right, next caller. Who we got?
It's David Zink with HS GameTime Live. Who we got on the phone?
Hey, Dave, it's Kevin Pearson. How are you?
Good, Kevin. Hey, about time you called in. Geez, we were waiting. Actually, I was starting to fall asleep waiting for you to call.
I figured you might have been. I figured it was about time to wake you up from your slumber.
So, what do you got?
Citrus Hill 51, Canyon Springs 25.
And Citrus Hill obviously wins their 34th consecutive regular season victory. Zomalt, Coach Zomalt gets his first head coaching victory, I believe. And
it was against his alma mater, Canyon Springs.
That is absolutely correct. So give us a little bit of the flavor of the game.
Davian Payne, running back, junior, is about 6'2", 33 carries, 323 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
Holy smokes.
Wow. And this kid is what, a year?
Junior.
Junior. Wow. So they didn't have him on the team last year, did they?
He may have been there in a reserve role, but this was his first career start, and I'm guessing he might get another one after this.
Yeah, I guess he made the most of that one. He's about a third of the way to 1,000 yards right now.
He is, and honestly, he probably would have had a lot more than 323, but they stopped running the yardage total once you cross the goal line.
Really?
Otherwise, he may have had 1,000 the way he was going. and they took him out with about 10 minutes left in the game.
And so Canyon Springs, give us your assessment of them based on one game, seeing them.
You know what? They were the more experienced team on paper. Citrus Hill only had one guy that started the season opener last year. And Canyon Springs just looked like a much smaller team, a much less experienced team, even though on paper they had more experience. After the game, Lance Pfeiffer said he was embarrassed, said it wasn't a matter of talent, but a matter of heart. And he said, quite frankly, he felt like he did not do his job good enough, and it was back to the drawing board for them.
Wow. Okay, and then on the other side, now that we got the tough stuff out of the way, Citrus Hill graduated some really valuable seniors. Seems like they've reloaded. They lost a coach who was obviously very much the guy who brought that program into prominence, and Doug DeBose, and actually a Canyon Springs graduate himself. But he's now moved on, and Coach Zomald is now taken over. So they obviously have reloaded, and looks like they're going to be pretty competitive again this year.
They should be. I mean, they are big up front on both lines. Obviously Payne is a guy that Zomalt said that nobody realizes how good this kid can be, and the kid has no clue how good he can be. But it was interesting to me. He spent a lot of the early part of the game trying to dance around some people. Coaches called him over to the sidelines and just ripped into him and said, listen, you're 210 pounds, run somebody over. And he went back out there, and probably about 6 or 8 times the rest of the game just buried his shoulder and just put a defender on their rear end. And the coaches loved it. They said, you know what? We challenged him. We wanted him to show some physicality and run people over and prove he's a man out there, and he responded on the spot.
Now, Deontay Cooper was quite a shifty, fast back. Not exactly the biggest guy on the field, but he definitely could run around people. What kind of runner is Payne? I mean, is he that kind of run guys over, or is he? I might have missed this, but did you say how big he is, or is he just a?
He's 6 foot 210. He has some room to grow on him. But he's a guy that can make a move and will make you miss, but when he needs to and when he needs to assert himself, he'll put the shoulder down. But I think he's a little bit more comfortable just kind of slipping by people. Even though he's got some size, I think he likes dancing through the hole.
That sounds great. So your prediction for Citrus Hill based on one game. Snap prediction right here.
They are good enough to make a run, and they could be an 8 or 9 win team in the regular season.
And they're in a new league too. So how do you think they're going to fare there?
You know what? They should do well. What impressed me besides Payne was the fact that they do have some size on both lines, and they were a very, very physical front on both sides. Had a couple sacks tonight defensively, but they were not afraid to go after people. There were a couple times when they blitzed everybody, and they've got the size on the lines to be competitive throughout the season.
So it sounds like the idea here that we kind of thought that with the changes they made with Citrus Hill, may not be the team that we thought they. I think there was some dismissing of Citrus Hill going into this. I mean, I think all of us were probably guilty of that, and clearly tonight. That's not the case. I mean, they're going to be a team we're going to see down the road here.
Well, Kevin Pearson, thank you very much for the very detailed assessment of the game, giving us all the stuff. You can read Kevin's story tomorrow in the Press Enterprise sports section.
Hey, and Kevin has a day job, by the way. He's now covering the city of Hemet for us as well. So, Kevin, we'll be hearing from Kevin a lot.
Working double time, huh, Kevin?
Right.
It's been a long day, but it was worth it. And it was a fun night.
Football. Isn't it great to have high school football back?
It is. It really is.
Well, hey, Kevin, thank you so much for calling in. We will talk to you again soon.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
Boy, Kevin Pearson, I'll tell you one thing. If there's one thing I can say about Kevin Pearson is that when you ask him, I mean, we had him on the sideline during that passing league tournament this summer. And how many, what was it, 15 or 16 different reports he gave us
It was
from
like
the sideline?
20. It was incredible.
I mean, and it was one thing after another, and not a single news item that he brought to us, or analysis item that he brought to us was a stiff. They were all great items. I mean, really good stuff on coaches, players, strategy, all those things. And obviously, he's got a real good grasp on the high school game.
Well, let's talk. Go to camera 6 for a minute. I've got the. I want to show you Superior Reed's run here.
Okay, and why don't you hit that while I fade it?
Okay.
So here we
So
go.
you can watch Superior Reed here in a moment, and this is what makes Superior Reed so dangerous and why Arlington is going to be so good. I mean, just a little run here, but let's just look at this again. I mean, look at this doesn't
now
look
wait,
like much of a play.
and before you start, pause it 1 second.
Right.
This is Superior getting the ball, and the traditional. He was last year. He had Baker blocking for him.
Right.
A
big back, right.
Very big back. Now he's going from split backs, but he's still going from that traditional position. We talked with Pat McCarthy in the summer, said he wanted to get him out in space and see what he could do with that. They worked on his receiving so they could throw the ball to him, things like that. But this is bread and butter for Superior right here. Take a look at this.
A little sweep here, right?
Look at that. See that? Do you see that block there?
Right.
That definitely opened up.
Just attacks that as well.
Well, Arlington has got just such a large offensive line.
Right.
I mean, look at these kids.
Couple of big plays here. This is against Redlands East Valley. And this is a scrimmage, a four-way scrimmage. Centennial was there as well. And it got things, as Dave Zink says, a little chippy at the end. But, again, you really see the kind of the strength of Arlington. And we suspected, this is a team that I think we're all kind of curious about because here's Brian Lavender running into some problems here in this as well. And let's see what they do here as well. Oh, a little struggle. So maybe Arlington not as strong as we think. All right, we got a call here.
Yeah, just 1 second. Let me pause this, and we are going to get to it. Uh-oh, undisclosed number. Let's see. David Zink with HS GameTime Live. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, where's my... Oh, is my mom there?
Sorry, you must have the wrong number. You're calling HS GameTime Live, but if you want to call back later, we'd love to discuss some high school football with you. All right, let's go back. Somebody looking for his mom. We will just keep on moving on.
There's a pass from Lavender and overthrown.
Actually, it wasn't. Maybe a little.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Okay, here we go with.
There's Superior in it. Look at there you go with a lead block there.
Right. And Rev does a good job of wrapping him up on that particular play. And again, now they fake it and a little
inside give a counter.
And off to
Superior trying to make something of nothing, really.
Right.
I want to see Superior catch the ball.
Little roll out.
Lavender
now.
on a big roll.
Right.
Boy, how many times? Come on. Arlington doesn't throw this much. I guess maybe they're trying to throw more.
I'd say Rev's defense really got the best of them there. A little offsides action.
Superior. There he goes. Look, he just kind of rolled.
That. Boy, that's been tough. So Arlington,
well, thank God this is
moments.
Thank God this is week 0, and thank God they're playing a scrimmage.
Look at this. Look at the defense of Rev right now. Let's go back to that again. So on this particular series, you see 3 or 4
jumped on the snap there.
Let's go back to this again.
Right there. That's just a bad snap.
They're rattled at this point.
And they tried to get Superior out in a little pass pattern there too.
And then watch this one too, as Rev's defense just kind of.
Oh.
That is not what you want to see from your offensive line.
Those are both the ends too.
Right. Look at me.
They had the inside covered. Watch the outside of this one.
Right. Here comes Matt Calkins.
No, I take that back. That was a tackle and an end.
All right, so let's go to Matt Calkins now.
Just 1 second. Let me cue that and go back. So as we go, let's go to Randy real quick and see if we can get Randy to give us a couple scores before we go to Matt. Randy, I know that you've got some scores for us, so I'm going to jump to you real quick. What do you got, Randy?
We have Citrus Valley 51 over Silver Valley 14.
All right. Do you have that Rancho Verde footage?
I do have some Rancho Verde footage. I guess we're done with. Okay, we're back to you.
Go back to Matt Calkins.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait a minute. I got to get it. Why don't you start with Matt real quick? Let me find that Rancho Verde, and I'll have it up in just 1 second.
So Matt Calkins down with us.
Hey,
How's the show going, by the way?
Is the mic on? Is his mic on?
It's been rough at times.
How are international numbers?
International numbers are up this night. We've got some crazy fans in the chat room going crazy.
Wow, Matt, that one-day beard's looking great.
He looks
it's my playoff beard. I'm not shaving until I lose one of the pick contests.
You didn't sign up for the pick contest yet, did you?
I circled some picks. I know that.
Okay, we're gonna make sure you're in there as well. I'm having a rough night. I didn't pick a lot of winners from that as well. All right, hey,
the beard would probably better suit
you're gonna
you
have a
right
rough
now.
season,
That's
Lewis.
right. You were out writing a column tonight about Rancho Verde and what they're going through right now. A good win for them. Talk about what they went through tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird coming on here. I think everyone's all excited, and this is kind of a downer subject. Emil Smith, who was a Boise State-bound defensive end, was riding shotgun with his older brother about a month and a half ago. It was not coming home from a passing scrimmage, but it was a few hours after one, and his brother lost control, spun into an oncoming van, and it killed them both. It didn't kill Emil instantly, but he died later that night. And, anytime a teenager dies unexpectedly, it's one of those heavyweight blows to the gut, no matter what. But this guy really seemed to be embraced by his teammates. He seemed to be like the one guy that it really would have shocked them beyond anything they were ready to experience. He was just kind of the guy that got him hyped up. And people were starting to move past this a little bit. Teenagers are pretty resilient. A month and a half later, they start to feel a semblance of normalcy. But then once the game started, once they were in stretching, it all kind of came flooding back to him, because this was the guy that got him hyped up. And this was the guy that would talk to them and get their spirits going. Pete Duffy described him as the guy who never had a bad day, which is becoming increasingly difficult with teenagers these days, because there's always someone complaining, but he was kind of the exception to the rule. And so when they saw that eerie quietness, it just kind of hit them, and they were crying. They were telling Coach how much they missed him, and they brought out a banner with pictures, both on the field and off the field. It had a Bible verse there. Their helmets are embroidered with the number 9, which was his jersey number, and underneath it are the initials ES. So a loving tribute for him, but this isn't one of those Hallmark commercials where it's like, oh, everyone's past it and he's just an inspiration. This is still hitting them very hard, and they are not past it.
We had a chance to see him, and basically right before he died, and I'll never forget this because Zink and I were at the game in Beaumont, and we saw he makes this great interception, and Zink was like, look at this team, and then he goes, all of a sudden Zink goes, here comes Emil Smith. Watch Emil Smith. He makes this great interception. And who could even imagine that a few hours later he would be dead. It was just unbelievable.
And it hit people both, it hit his current teammates and his former teammates. Apparently the most emotional eulogy was delivered by Ronald Powell, who most people know was the #1 recruit in the nation last year. And now he's over at Florida. And this guy just couldn't fight back the tears, and just telling how much that Emil meant to even him. And not to say that he would mean less to him than anybody else, but Ronald Powell was, not just the big man on campus, probably the big man in the inland area. And he still looked at Emil Smith as a source of inspiration. So very telling of his personality and character, I thought.
Hey, Dave, can you show my desktop there? We've got a picture of Emil, just so we can have that as well. This is from Facebook that we took some photos of them earlier in the season extension.
Yeah. Okay. 1 second.
Okay. So it's building for a while now as well, and kind of tell me about what's next for Rancho Verde. Are they still in the healing process with this whole thing? Or?
Seems like it. Like I said, it looked like they were starting to feel a sense of normalcy again, and then this game came, and the floodgates sort of opened once again. I think they are moving on. Coach Duffy, Pete Duffy, said after the game Emil's name didn't come up. His name didn't come up during the game either, and that's not a sign of disrespect or anything like that. It's just to say, hey, listen, we still have a football game to play. We're not going to let this incident change everything about us. They're still bringing out the banner every game. They still have his initials embroidered on their helmets every game. But yeah, I think they are moving on. I think that cliche, one game at a time, probably holds true more to this situation than it does most situations, because I think, come October, November, they'll still be very sad. But I think they'll have moved on. They're not even allowed to say, hey, Emil would have wanted it this way in practice.
We don't want to do that.
Because anytime that is said it just makes players sad. It doesn't make them inspired. It just brings them down. It's like,
Right.
man, what a bummer, dude. Don't talk about that right now. So yeah, they're still going through a lot, but I think they're getting better.
All right, so let's talk about some of the other things that you saw tonight. This is a team that we have great expectations for this year. Are they as good as we thought they were going to be, or are they a little bit less with him being gone? I mean, what do you think?
Well, I think this beard's probably going to be shaved because obviously Eric is the superior prognosticator to me. He predicted 17 points before the game even started.
Right.
I said, come on, I say like 28 or 35, but he said 17, which isn't saying anything negative about Rancho Verde. They're playing, I think, the 20th ranked team. They're number 7. I think they're probably going to be a team that gets to the quarterfinals again, like we're used to seeing with Rancho Verde.
Right.
A lot of talent, but is the coaching staff deep enough to really take them to the next level? I'm not sure. They look good tonight, but they weren't playing an elite team from the Big 8 or the Southwestern League or anything like that.
Was there a big crowd there tonight?
Yeah, pretty big.
Pretty big? Yeah.
I mean, 1,500, 2,000.
Right.
I'm horrible at guessing crowds.
Right, yeah, it was always
What's
interesting.
there, like 10 in this room right now?
Yeah, there's a 10, 15. Well, if you believe Louis
12.
Brewster, if we believe Louis Brewster, Zink and I account for 10 each. So maybe there's 20. Who knows?
Insert your own Zink head joke here. I
Wait.
think there should be a moratorium.
Well,
on that.
Zink counts for 2. no matter what.
The irony of this is Louis Brewster was calling us fat.
Whoa. Whoa.
The classic.
Hello, I'm
that's
kidding.
a staple of this show, the joke that 5 people get.
All right, so what do you got going on next for you? You're always doing something weird or busy or crazy.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know, something involving camels and other animals.
Either you're writing about coffee, or
Right.
or you're doing something about home runs and in minor league parks, or do you have anything else that you're cooking? Or you're pretty much back on the prep.
Back to the prep beat. Yeah, there'll be little things scattered here and there.
Right. What are you gonna? You have any leads about where you're gonna be next week?
I don't. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure thing.
It's like
you turn
where,
the page, then
where
you
in
get
the
to
world
pick.
is Matt Hawkins?
Yeah, pretty much. So
We could make
even
this-
I'm kept in suspense. It's like characters like you ever watch 24?
Right.
Like the people, the double agents. They don't even know the actors playing them. They don't even know they're double agents until like the 20th episode when it's
Right.
revealed to them in the script. So I'm kind of the same way.
So at some point, I think it'd be pretty good if we if what we did was we ambushed you with like a package of your latest assignment, and it would just show up like 24 hours before.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
So if someone shows up and they give you like a dossier of here's what you're going to cover, just out of the blue.
Okay.
Like they come to your house, knock on the door.
So it's like Publishers Clearinghouse?
Right. That too. You're in the bathroom.
Okay.
They knock on the door. Here's your dossier.
And this is what I'm going to do.
This is what you're going to do. Right.
It's like the Bourne Supremacy, like
Right.
That they have those agents waiting like in Tangier or whatever. They get their assignment.
Exactly.
They don't know it's coming.
Yeah,
Boom.
and it's
I can do
just
that.
like in a big thing, and then it'll blow up
Yeah.
as well. So there you go.
All my analogies seem to be towards like superhuman agents, Jack
That's right.
Bauer and Jason Bourne.
That's right.
Yeah, could be a theme.
You
It
maybe
must
that's
be
what
a theme with
you-
the unshaven face.
That's it.
You kind of have that ruggedness to you.
I
So,
just don't care
There
anymore.
you go. All right.
Matt, you have a lot to live for.
Okay, thanks.
All right. So Emil Smith, big night in memory of him. Family was all there and everything.
His mom was there. I actually talked to her. That was probably like one of the saddest interviews I've ever done because I didn't even really seek her out. She was
Right.
looking at one. There's 2 banners made. One was carried onto the field. The other was hung on a field side fence. And she was looking at that, and she just started to break down. And I was talking to her, but it's one of those weird moments as a journalist where you have to do it, but you don't really want to do it. And she's having a hard time with it. But she had his jersey on. She's trying to get past it,
Right.
or not get past it, but just.
Deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it and still carry on with their life. I guess the dad's having a pretty hard time with it, though,
Right.
as can be understood.
Yeah. I mean, I actually early on I drove by where he died at,
Mm-hmm.
and it just was a terrifying scene, and to lose 2 boys like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm
and
a
that's
parent.
and that's what. Yeah.
I can't even imagine how horrible that must have been. So I mean, just not a good night for them as well. So
Yeah.
Well, as a journalist, I appreciate you asking the question and being caring about in the way you ask it. Obviously, I can tell from the way you feel about it now that it's never a hard thing an easy thing
No.
to do. But a lot of people want to know. I mean, just people that are close to him don't even know what, I'm sure she doesn't talk to a lot of people about this.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about being a journalist, too, is sometimes, you get people to talk about things that they don't tell their closest friends or family just because nobody really wants to bring it up.
Right. They're all afraid that you don't want to offend anybody. You just want to say you're sorry and that you want to do anything you can to help them. And then you hope that it just eventually gets swept under the rug. And a lot of times for a mother or a father or a sibling or an aunt or an uncle, it's really a cathartic to actually be able to talk about it and actually help you heal.
Yeah, I don't know if you know who Gary Smith is. He writes for Sports Illustrated. He writes 4 stories a year, but they're like the greatest 4 stories every year. And he won't write a story until he's interviewed like 50 people. It's his thing, and then he comes out with these like 10,000 word epic stories. But people say after they talk to him, like one long interview is more cathartic than like 20 trips to the psychiatrist, just because he asks these questions and they just kind of let it all out. So I'm not saying that I'm doing that or anything, but yeah, sometimes that happens when they just have an excuse to talk about it. It can be.
Well, speaking of cathartic, I want to transition for a moment to not necessarily. I mean, and that's kind of where we're going to with this part is that you had a chance to sit down and talk to 2 of the coaching legends of the Inland Empire, Don Markham and Dick Bruick, and
bring up uncomfortable stories.
Right?
Do I want to? Is this for public consumption?
Right. Yeah, it is.
Okay. What does it mean?
Well, she got fed.
This is you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hey, is my computer audio
The new
turned
talent's
on?
already making demands.
Right.
What?
Is the computer audio turned on?
Am I off again?
As in music?
Yeah.
It is now.
Let me see this here. There you go.
Brings
Thank
back
you.
memories.
Please leave that on for a minute. So, but you had a chance to talk to both of those guys, and that was a great interview. And in fact, it's been actually one of the most popular things on our website.
No.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Strangely enough.
Come on, you
can hold an audience.
How often
and you didn't edit me out of it?
No.
We tried to.
We didn't want to.
That's right. I saw the beginning of that.
That's right. We cut the ending because Zink just had something over your face, so we tried to.
Okay.
But I mean,
Wow.
It was probably I think 370 some views, which is it's pretty good. And I mean, it was a 20-minute interview, and most people watched at least half of it. So, but that had some interesting things. I thought that the most interesting part, of course, we talked about this before, and we have the clip on it on hsgametime.pe.com, is the whole idea that you ask Coach Bruick, you dismiss his son, who's Redlands East Valley coach Kurt Bruick. Not as I shouldn't say that as dismiss him, but you
eliminated him.
You eliminated him as a candidate of someone who would start a program.
Yeah.
He would start a program, and he picked.
It's a very Jack Bauer thing to do, by the way, is eliminate someone.
That's
but
right.
yeah. Okay. I basically asked Dick Bruick if he could hire one coach from the Inland Empire or Inland area and build a program to build
Give me your weapon, or I will kill him.
Sorry.
Overkill alert.
Sorry.
All right. And hire a coach to build a program around. It'd be Tommy Leach of Temecula Chaparral, probably our most controversial coach. Certainly rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and you get a feeling he kind of likes to do that. But he's been brilliant with Diamond Bar and Chaparral. Took over the program at Chaparral, I think, 3 years ago, and won a CIF championship last year, and is the early favorite to do it again. So, are people going to be glad that he said that? This legendary coach, Dick Bruick, considered by many to be the Inland area's greatest coach of all time, endorsing Tommy Leach? Nah, it probably won't sit well with people, but
it's a trap.
Okay, Lewis,
totally
enough
apologize.
already. I'm turning the sound down.
I just found that
Hey,
one.
you know what, Matt? The most interesting thing about that comment, at least that my takeaway from it was, Dick Bruick was a very regimented, close to the vest kind of coach. Good defense, good running game. That's what you do to win football games. And he was his team was very disciplined in every way, every team that he coached. I never saw a sideline that was out of control. I never saw anything like that. And the first guy.
I take a very brazen person.
Exactly. But the very first person that he brings up as somebody he'd want to start a program is completely the counter opposite of that.
Yeah. Well, I think he's just looking at results. I think Dick Bruick is probably someone who realizes there's a lot of ways to win.
Yeah.
He's got his way, but he sees what other people do, and he goes with it.
I think the other part of that conversation, too, that I thought was interesting was that both of them, and we talked about this a little bit afterwards, too, both of them were very unapologetic about their careers, and you brought up a good point about, the profanities and some of Bruick's, I guess those things that kind of stuck with him, criticisms of him. And then a lot of things with Markham, about his last, very, very short stint at Rialto.
Yeah.
But both of them were like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to change anything.
There were a lot of things I wanted to ask Markham that I didn't, because I didn't feel like it was the proper platform. I mean, there was a game.
You didn't know if he'd come at you.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't want to pile on someone who kind of comes on here not really knowing what the interview's about. But he had a game like 4 years ago where not only did he beat Harupa Valley 108-20, but when it was 94-20, he put the starters back in.
Right.
And this was big news at the time.
Right.
And so he makes this move, and it's like, come on, coach. I mean, that's kind of like the epitome of classlessness.
Right.
And maybe it's just a spur of the moment kind of thing. But, you get to know Don Markham, and I don't think it's really this like sadistic, like we want to prove that we can get 100 on him. I think he just really likes to score points. His favorite accomplishment was scoring 880 points. And
right.
I don't know that he necessarily realizes the significance of score or how it can affect.
Well, I think the thing was there's this weird juxtaposition between the two of them. Is like, Brewitt can talk authoritatively about the entire Inland Empire, knows most of the coaches, and Markham could care less.
And the thing he liked most about Brewitt was the fact that he could
remember names.
He remember some names. And I found really interesting that Brewitt was very complimentary of Markham, talking about a lot about him and his relationship with his wife and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And Markham had almost nothing to say. I mean, he really didn't. I found that surprising.
Well, I think Brewitt hit a key point that I think was one of the reasons that Brewitt's success or Markham's success was Markham would take a small group of players and make it a very, very tight-knit family unit, and Mrs. Markham would be there basically, making peanut butter.
Uh-oh, there's Markham right now calling to get us.
I know this number.
Hold on just 1 second. It's David with HS GameTime Live. Who we got on the phone?
This is Charlie, King parent fan.
Oh, great. So, Charlie, you were out at the game today. Looks like you guys had a pretty good effort this evening.
Yeah, it was Hadley peeled off a couple long runs. Mitchell had over 100 yards at fullback, and Langdon had a touchdown pass caught and one dropped in the end zone and another one called back out of the end zone. That was a pretty balanced effort tonight.
So you're pretty obviously satisfied with the start to your season, huh?
Yeah, we seem to got a lot of speed back there, so we're hoping to see some big things for these guys.
So, Handley, obviously, we were told by our reporter on the scene that he's actually done a little bit of growing and he's put on a little bit of weight. He had a pretty darn good season last year. I suspect, as probably you do, he's going to have quite a good season this year.
Yeah, he should have a very good year. He's gotten a lot stronger. He's pushing tacklers off him pretty well now.
And so any other people that are standout for you in that win over Ramona?
Langdon is the returning quarterback there. I don't know if you know that he's the kicker and safety too, and he kicks with his left foot, throws with his right, and he's throwing pretty accurate. We're just dropping a lot of balls in the game times.
You got a really tough league schedule coming up, but you got a couple more games, or at least one more game before you get into league play. Based on tonight, what do you think your chances are in the Big 8?
I haven't seen any of the other teams yet, but looking at our team, we look a lot sharper than we were last year. That's for sure, especially dropping the double wing.
Well, that's great. And so you dropped a double wing. What are you guys running out of now?
We're running an I formation now.
Oh, great. Well, hey, thank you so much for calling in and giving us a little bit of your opinion on King's victory tonight. We wish you the best of luck next week, and we will hopefully talk to you again after that win.
Cool deal.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, now we're going to be joined by Eric Paul Johnson. He is on scene, and he kind of interesting night tonight, Eric. Let me make sure you're turned on here. And let me get to, I have a task for young Drexler to do here in a moment, too, as we get caught up with things. A lot going on here. Hold on 1 second here. All right, EPJ on scene now. We're going to the Eric Paul Johnson camera. Eric, you were also at Rancho Verde tonight, and let's talk about football for a minute. We just had Calkins talking about that. We'll talk about that in a moment with you as well. But tell me about how Rancho Verde looked. Are they going to be good, great? What's that team look like?
After talking to Coach Duffy, he hopes they will look better in recent weeks. They struggled today. They got a few fortunate breaks that went their way, but the big issue there was, Travis Champion, who was big quarterback in this team for the past 2 years. He didn't even start the game here. Coach Duffy decided he was going to go to a platoon at quarterback with Jordan Jones and Champion, and that kind of backfired today. So the offense never got into a real good rhythm.
Why did we saw that during the summer, the passing tournament that we looked at. He platooned quite a bit, and we thought, well, he just maybe giving this guy some playing time. But
Jones is a great athlete. He definitely is a good runner. He's more of a guy who can break some plays. But passing the ball, he struggled tonight. I think he was 5 of 12, 2 interceptions.
Right.
Champion looked a little bit better, but also some passes that are uncharacteristic of him, and I think that's because he gets out in the field, has a good drive, and he's got to come back off and wait his turn. So, but the actual best pass of the night was thrown by a wide receiver for Rancho Verde.
Oh, really?
It's kind of the play that it was a close game. It was 10-7 with about a minute to go. Rancho Verde got a touchdown. Travis Champion threw a touchdown pass to Chris Tabron. 17-7. Minute left. West Valley had that decision. Do we try to put something together? Maybe get a score before halftime. They went 3 and out, gave Rancho Verde the ball with like 20 seconds left. Pete Duffy reaches into his bag of tricks. I don't know if anyone saw highlights of the Wake Forest Presbyterian College.
Presbyterian hit that bomb at the end, right?
Well, and how it happened, how it started. Travis Champion took a snap and he bounced a pass across the field and lateraled backwards. West Valley defenders kind of pulled up and
what's this?
Yeah, they were like, wow, and Breon Redmond, perfect bounce up to him, turned around, threw a 38-yard touchdown pass. And I asked Breon afterwards, I go, what were you thinking? He said the only thing he could think in his head was, is this ball really going to bounce to me? And it was a perfect skip right into his hands. Went for a touchdown. They go up 24-7 at halftime, kind of put the game away. So,
interesting.
But for Rancho Verde's offense, the big pleasant surprise, they lost their running back, LaRon Jackson, to graduation, but Devontae Buddha Jordan comes in 171 yards, 19 carries, 2 touchdowns in his first game. So, there's still some things to work out. They definitely have the talent. It'll be interesting to see in their game next week if that platoon is still there.
Let's talk about the night as well, your perception of the night. I mean, a humongous loss for the Rancho Verde family.
Right.
What was your overall take on them as well?
You could definitely see the emotion with some of the players, especially for the game. But when it came to game time, they went out there and they played football. And I think they definitely this is a season they want to dedicate to a meal. So I think they're going to be looking to put some good things together. But it's kind of the usual. You expect there were some emotions there. With the players carrying the banner out. And, but as soon as that, whistle started, they were playing football.
Now we're going to take a call here real quick. Hello, who's this?
Hey, is this Dave?
This is,
Zink first?
Yeah, Zink's trying to turn his microphone on.
Dave Bravica.
This is Dave Bravica, yeah, from Notre Dame. How are you?
Hey, you called it an hour late, Dave.
Well, you know what? It's a little bit of a long drive from San Pedro, I'm sorry.
But you had a good night, though, man.
Had the whole family in tow, so it was an interesting ride. It was a fun ride home. It was a nice game.
Do you celebrate all the way home?
Just talk. It's nice to talk about something positive. And let me tell you, it was quite a game. The offense was, I really delivered tonight. Kevin O'Connor, all the juniors at Dominic Easton, Josh Ivory, Kevin O'Connor, all those guys really delivered tonight. So we had like 481 yards of total offense. It was a pretty dominating performance by the offense, and the defense didn't play too badly because we scored like 31 points in a row. So fun night.
And I don't know how good of an opponent was Mary Starr.
I think it's really hard to say. They're definitely better than the team that we scrimmaged, which is Calvary Chapel. And I think they're in a slightly more difficult division, maybe. But Division 10. I'm sorry. Okay, well, I would say clearly, as far as the level of difficulty, Whittier Christian next week is going to be a step up.
Well,
I think we kind of but it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. Mary Star, they had some speed, but basically when we had the ball, we pretty much did what we wanted to do whatever we wanted to do. So, we had 250 yards rushing, 229 yards passing. I mean, that's pretty much balanced. So it was extremely gratifying to see all those guys who, they waited for a chance and really made the most of it.
Okay, so I do have to go, Dave, but I want to know one thing. How did your son do?
Why do you have to go?
Because we got 101 things to do. Dave, look, I don't want to kick you off, but listen, we got to go, so I just wanted to know, how did Paul do in the JV game?
Paul did in the JV game. Well, he ran for his life, but he did pretty well running for his life. So we're actually going to sit down and watch the video right now.
So
we'll have to. Next week we'll talk about it.
So he looked like Matt Bradbica back in the old Notre Dame days?
No, actually, he's a more courageous player than either myself or my brother.
Wow.
It's not even close.
Well, that's great.
That kid's crazy.
Well, tell Paul to keep working, man, and we want to hear. I can't wait to see him up on varsity.
Okay.
Thanks
so
for calling, Dave.
I'm glad you're talking about freshman QBs, Dave. That's great.
Hey, I do everything I can for the guys who call in the show. Dave, have a good night.
Okay,
We'll talk to you again next
Dave.
week. Bye.
Thanks, Lewis.
All right, thanks,
guys.
David. All right, we're now joined by John Murphy. John, you were over at Redlands in Great Oak. Where was your game tonight?
Redlands,
Great Oak. All right, we have some footage
And
of that
we
as
do
well.
have some footage.
Right.
Hold on 1 second.
Let me see if we can find that as well. Remember to call us at 951-260-0474. Joined by John, the prep dog Murphy. The Terrier, a little bit maybe tougher game than we thought, or is Great Oak better than we think?
It was an extremely sloppy game.
23-16.
Great Oak had 7 turnovers and yet was still in the game late in the fourth quarter when they fumbled.
What was Redlands' issue? Well, here's a couple of the plays here. This is a big pass play.
72-yarder from Hernandez to Deshaun.
All right, so that put them up, 8-2 here. Little run here.
He had Jordan Howard. He had 2 3-yard runs, touchdowns.
This is a touchdown.
Short running play.
And I mean, this is a tight game for these guys. I mean, this is.
Yeah, I was sitting there with George Alfano from Press Enterprise and TJ Baker from the Sun and saying, I can't believe that Great Oak is still in this game, but yet they were up until the final minutes, despite all their turnovers.
Well, that's a photo, by the way, from the game. So again, looping back there, showing some of this stuff. So let's talk for a minute. Is what does Redlands need to do? We thought this is going to be a challenge for the CBL championship. By the way, we saw Rev tonight too. Defensively, pretty strong against Arlington in a scrimmage. But what did you think of Redlands overall?
Well, Redlands was not crisp, but they showed the explosiveness that everyone knew that they would have with Iverson and JoJo Hernandez and Caden Glass. But they made just enough mistakes and weren't able really to put Great Oak away.
All right. And what did Jim Walker say after this performance?
I didn't get a chance to talk to Jim. I talked to Paul Gonzalez. Paul Gonzalez is the linebacker who I wrote about last year, who went through so much strife and wound up, starting for 2 years for the Redlands Terriers. And unfortunately, his half-brother died in Afghanistan on Wednesday. So he found out about that and went ahead and played very well.
That's a tough one. It's an interesting story as well. Are you going to write more about that? Or
I already wrote about it for tomorrow's paper. Okay. His brother Lucas was there in Army fatigues and was with him before the game, and they had a short ceremony.
All right, very, very tough. That's a tough story too. Tough night of stories all around, it sounds like, as well. Let's talk for a minute about some of the games. I was going to go through some of these scores. You probably haven't had a chance to keep up with all the scores of the night, and just kind of give me some reaction. Summit opening up on Thursday, 42-35 against Etiwanda. Any surprises there? I mean, a track meet shootout, basically.
Yeah, I kind of had the impression that Etiwanda had a good defense, and maybe they do, but obviously
Summit's got some pretty good athletes too.
Yeah, it wasn't good enough against the show they've got over there in North Fontana with Devon Blackman and Montego.
All right, Lakeside lost 39-14 to Kennedy de la Palma. Rancho Verde beat West Valley tonight 31-14. We've talked a lot about that game tonight. Redlands and Gray Oak 23-16, as you were at that game. Canyon Springs got hammered by Citrus Hill tonight, 51-25. So it looks like Citrus Hill is going to be okay.
Yeah, I can't remember who I talked to scrimmage Citrus Hill, but they said that he had a stud running back who looked very impressive in the
I
scrimmage.
think he ran for 300 yards tonight, right?
300 plus yards.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Pearson said. King shut out Ramona tonight, 30-0 over Ramona. Yep.
Handley went for a lot of yards.
Right. This is the Santiago score. Young Randy Leva over there. She can tell us the score happily.
49-20.
Your microphone is not on again.
Oh, this is not me.
It's me. There you go.
Is this some kind of initiation? Because it's the first night. You just have me talk, but my mic's not on.
49-20.
I don't find it very funny.
Isn't this fun?
Old men.
Wow.
Old man.
Wow.
Are you a Santiago grad?
I'm not.
Oh.
No, she's
My team actually won. I'm a Corona Centennial.
They were playing
grad.
a scrimmage.
All right, turn it off again. Torrey Pines shutting out Paloma Valley 35-0. We talked to Miriam Swanson about that. She just didn't see anything. Now, the score we got in this one was from none other than Lou Brewster. Upland beating Miller 21-16. Said it was basically an awful game. And I asked him, I said, well, this is a big kind of interdivisional game, baseline league, CBL. He says, yeah, not a very good game. Upland struggled. Miller struggled.
That game is quite a bit closer than I thought it would be. But
Do you think Upland would run away with it? Or
I did. But Miller does have a lot of defensive guys back. I think they have 8 returnees on their defense, so it makes a little bit of sense.
All right, let's talk about Temecula Valley getting a big win in the league that you'll cover, the Southwestern League. The Southwestern League teams were in action tonight. I think 2 of them were. Murrieta Valley lost tonight, but Temecula Valley under Paul McGowan, the first win, 40-0 over Hemet.
Wow, that's impressive. I had a chance to interview Adam Pulsifer last week for a feature I'm doing. Very nice kid, and he really emphasized that Paul McGowan and everybody, they're trying to bring the winning tradition back to Temecula Valley after 2 1-9 seasons.
Right. Another kind of interesting game, too, all kind of came down to the fourth quarter. Heritage knocking out San Jacinto 34-31. Apparently a lot of mayhem there in the fourth quarter.
Mayhem.
Mayhem, right. Okay, now.
Were there fisticuffs or just?
No, it was.
That was Centennial and Arlington.
Yeah, that was Centennial and Arlington earlier in the night, and we have some video of that as well. We'll put it up on the website later on. All right, Heritage, I guess, got like a couple of turnovers. They got a double pass for a touchdown, and then had a field goal to win that game. Now, I told you, I thought, well, Rialto might be in trouble. Blocked the field goal. There you go. There it is. Jeff Prenny, the invisible voice from us who's telling us to block the field goal. Now, you told me that I was crazy, basically, that Rialto would be better than people think, basically, and they proved that tonight by beating Moreno Valley 21-12 on the road.
I don't remember what I told you, but that's a great win for.
You don't even remember what happened yesterday half the time. So I mean, come on now.
Hey, wait! Before we go on any farther, hey Murph, when did you become the enforcer of the HS GameTime crew? Do you see the picture
Where
we got?
is he?
I'm over here.
The A1 story, right?
I don't know. They told me to cross my arms.
You look tough. I think you look like Robert Conrad with that whole knock the battery off my shoulder.
I want to know how many more. Rack sales or how many sales we had on the racks tonight yesterday for just have Murphy on A1. You look good, man.
You look tough.
That was before the haircut.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. We went outside earlier at this evening before about 8:30. Well, I guess about 8:30, right, Zink?
Yes.
It was 85 degrees outside. You're wearing a big hoodie there. What's going on? Were you cold in Redlands? Was it?
It's kind of like the Bill Belichick look.
Even though it's like
Love
85 degrees outside.
You need to cut the sleeves then.
All right. So Rialto 21-12 over Moreno Valley. Any thoughts on that game?
Just a great win for Gavin Pichot. I mean, there was so much turmoil with Markham coming in, and then, Markham's not here, and then what are we going to do now? And they insert Gavin Pichot, and he's 1-0 out of the chute.
All right, Claremont 31-14 over Cajon.
I have to say I called that one. Claremont got the transfer, Taj Teague, and I don't know what kind of day he had, but it seems like they put up a lot of points.
All right, Randy Leva, Notre Dame, and Mary Star of the Sea. What was the score on that one?
Notre Dame took that one. Mary Star of the Sea Stars 45 to 21. I'm sorry about that.
What's that written down in your book?
I'm falling asleep over here because I've just been ignored for the last.
I have that
30
effect
minutes.
on
That's
people.
all right. Remember, I told you our expectations were going to be low.
That's all right. I have nothing to lose coming into tonight.
Can we get a box
Hey,
at Starbucks or something? Here?
Hey, Lou, she's not used to being ignored.
I know. 43 to nothing.
Out of my comfort zone.
43-0. Bishop Montgomery beating Vista Del Lago.
Not an auspicious opener for the Ravens.
No, not at all. All right. Southwestern League. Pacifica, Murrieta Valley. Randy Leva.
Pacifica, Marietta Valley, Young Drexler, 15 to 7.
Right, 15 to 7.
I'm in a different order than you. I'm sorry.
Bit of a surprise there, but Pacifica, has Joel Owens, who has a scholarship to Washington, and I'm sure he had a big day.
Sure, he probably did too. It was. I think it was a little bit tight there, and it looks like Murrieta Valley. Well, we'll see with Murrieta Valley. I mean, that's a team I think that we kind of like. We'll see what happens with them as well. All right, they play host Escondido next week. Rubidoux, Yucca Valley, 14-14 tie allegedly. That's what we understand.
Allegedly.
Tahquitz, 54-0 over Douglas. Otay Ranch, Elsinore, 28-16 for Elsinore as well.
He's totally unaffected by all these scores.
Citrus Valley, 51-14 over Silver Valley.
Not too surprising. Silver Valley, as we know, is a very small school.
Right,
and Citrus Valley's on the way up a little bit.
Right. Okay. That's it. That's all we've got for right now. We've got other scores that are out there, but that's kind of the gist of it right now. What are you looking for next week? What do you think you're going to cover next week? What's your storyline next week?
I think I'm going to be on. I was planning on Chaparral and Oceanside, but it seems like Oceanside got it handed to them this week, so I don't know where I'll be at next week.
That's kind of bad for Chaparral, though. If you look at the kind of like going beyond the Inland Division, possibly for a state bowl, because the way that state bowl is determined, correct?
Yeah, but they've still got a pretty strong non-league season to fight their way through.
All right, very good. So basically next week, all week one, we'll have a lot more going on next week as well. John Murphy, we're almost done here for the night. We got about 2 minutes left to go on the show. If anyone has a final thought, 951-260-0474. You have talked to us on week 0 of HS GameTime Live. Tremendous night. Randy, did we miss any scores? Did you have any other scores you want to throw at us?
I think that was pretty much it. Did we get the Citrus Hill, 51, Canyon Springs, 25.
Right.
Desert Hot Springs, Aquinas.
What was the final score on that one?
28-21.
28-21.
Who won?
Who won the game?
Desert Hot Springs.
Oh. That surprised you a little bit, Prep Dog?
Mild upset.
Yeah, mild upset. But Desert Hot Springs,
Mild.
though, if you think about it, though, they should be strong. I mean, it's a single school town. They have had some good athletes go through that school, just not had a lot of success on the football field.
And they're a relatively young school. I think they might have a new coach.
I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many new coaches to get a hold of or to keep track of this year as well. What else you got, Randy?
What else do you want to hear? Do you want the whole list again?
No, I just want to hear. Not the attitude.
Can I go finish my donut now?
You can go finish your donut now. All right, John, the Prep Dog Murphy. There you go. All right, everybody, we are almost done here for this night of fun-filled activity on HS GameTime Live. It has been tremendous. I think we're going to sign out for the night. We've got a lot more coming for you in week 1. Let's just go back here and Randy, why don't you go through all of the scores one last time as we close it out for the night.
Top to bottom.
We're going to start off with Thursday night. We had Summit 42-35 over Etowanda. La Palma Kennedy 39-14 over Lakeside. And did we have an update? There was an injury in that game. Lakeside's James Fortin was injured. I don't know if anyone knew about that last night. It was reported in the OC Register. I guess he was moving his legs, but he was motionless at first.
Really? That's
kind of scary.
That's very scary. Very scary.
Yeah. California CMI 31-28 over Roybal. Torrey Pines 35-0 over Paloma Valley. San Diego Southwest 25-18 over Hamilton. They were tied 18-18. Was that in the third or the fourth quarter?
Who was that again?
So Southwest over Hamilton.
I think that was the final, right? It was tight. It was tight. I think Hamilton actually led the game at one point. So.
Temecula Valley over Hemet 40-0. Redlands 23-15 over 16 over Great Oak. Dana Hills 49-20 over Santiago. Rancho Cucamonga 42-7 over Silverado. Heritage 34-31 over San Jacinto. Holtzville 16-15 over Calvary Marietta. King 30-0 over Ramona. Another shutout there. Pacifica 15-7 over Marietta Valley. Notre Dame 45-21 over Mary Star. I'm sorry, I've said that too many times tonight. We're just going to keep
Mary
going.
Star, that's good.
Yeah. Rialto 21-12 over Moreno Valley. Bishop Montgomery 43-0 over Vista del Lago. Citrus Valley 51-14 over Silver Valley. Moreno Valley Rancho Verde 31-14 over Jemez Valley. Claremont 31-14 over Cajon. Upland 21-16 over Miller. Yucca Valley 14, Rubidoux 14, a tie there. Was that our final score?
Which one was that?
Did we get that updated
I think it was
again?
a tie, yeah, 14-14. They can choose to play a tie.
And in the Hamilton game, Southwest ended up winning that game 25-18.
Right.
Where was that? Okay.
You were asking for the final.
Elsinore 28-16 over Otay Ranch. Talkowitz 54, yeah, that was 54-0 over Douglas. Citrus Hill 51-25 over Canyon Springs. Desert Hot Springs 28-21 over Aquinas. And Citrus Valley 51-14 over Silver Valley.
All right, very nice, very nice. Good job, Randy Leva, first night here on HS GameTime Live. Great for having you guys all join us here tonight. We really appreciated it. It was a great amount of fun. We'll be back next week, preview show Tuesday night. Look for it mainly Wednesday morning. We'll have highlights of the show for you here on hsgametime.pe.com. Don't forget to get into the contest that I think I struggled in, that you struggled in as well. And what are you circling?
Don't lump me in with you.
Yeah, well, you know. That's
I know I did better than you.
That's how it rolls. All right, let's end this thing. Let's close out the show.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
A couple things of note. First of all, we had a little bit of rough start, obviously, but
Right.
I think we came on strong.
Yep.
It's like the first game of the season. First half, you're really struggling. Coach brings you in, lose our coach. He ended up kind of chewing us a new one, and we came back out strong, I think, in the second half, and finished strong with the leadership of Louis Amstoy.
Well, thank you, guys. Good night, everybody. We will see you guys again real soon. Let's close out with our HS GameTime song and logo for the night.
I knew you'd do that to me. I just knew it.
You find it?
I have to find it. Hold on. We do have to close it out that way because we have to close it out the way that we started it tonight.
Hey, Jack,
So
it's
here
the
we
Game
go.
Time show, man. We here right now. Yeah. Got sports, baseball, b-ball, football, and we rock the crowd. We live in sports, it's the mission. Why? You should already know. Don't stop, don't blink.